circumstances, baby. No, God is always there for me. Yeah, through the sunshine or through the rain, through the breakthrough or through the pain, God is always there for me. So I met this old man. He was so poor, didn't hold no bed, so we slept on the floor. He's always smiling, never heard him complain. He said I've proven God again and again. So no matter what the circumstances, baby, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. No matter what the circumstances, baby, yeah, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the good times or through the bad, through the happy times or through the sad, God is always there for me. The landlord wears the rent, school fee too, partner to our bones, and the youth them need you. Friends all ask me what I'm gonna do. I smile and tell them that God will see me through. No matter what the circumstances, baby, yeah, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. So no matter what the circumstances, baby, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the good times or through the bad, through the happy times or through the sad, God is always there for me. I met this old man. He was so poor, he didn't hold no bed, so he slept on the floor. He's always smiling, I never heard him complain. He said I've proven that again and again. So no matter what the circumstances, baby, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the sunshine or through the rain, through the pleasure or through the pain, God is always there for me. No matter what the circumstances, baby, no, God is always there for me. Yeah. Through the good times or through the bad, through the happy times or through the to separate me from your love, my Jesus. Nothing will be able to turn me away from you. I love you, Father. Anyhow, the afflictions of the righteous, the hearts of men getting more and more vicious. Brutality is on the increase. Tell me, when the love of God sees no power on earth to separate me from love, love my Jesus, nothing will be able to turn away from you. I love you, Father. This level of crime, only love can eradicate. We must demand justice from the church and the state, and confess to God all our evil ways, and He will give us so much better days when we show love to each and every brother. Love will return to protect him, mother, daughter, sister. Let's hope in our heart to those who are in need, who never receive love. Come, let's sow some seed. No power on earth to separate me from love. Love my Jesus, nothing will be able to turn me away from you. I love you, Heavenly Father. No power on earth to separate me from love. I love you, my Jesus. Nothing will be able to turn me away from you. No, 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 no power on earth to separate me from you. No power, no, oh no, nothing will be able to turn me away from you. No, no, no power. There's not a broken vessel that God can't make. The thief was down to his last breath, and in vain carried away. When he turned to the master and said, Lord, have mercy on me, he was just a broken vessel. That Jesus washed away his sin.
Good afternoon to all my listeners and viewers. Welcome to Rebel Radio. Yes, Monday. And yes, we continue on our road to recovery. Yes, as you know, Hurricane Melissa did considerable damage to our country, and thousands of our countrymen and women are now feeling their ways, trying to recover from this devastation. Yes, it is really, really tough, really tough. And you know, we at Rebel Radio, we continue to do whatever we can. As I said on this program some weeks ago, I think it was in November, that we are working with a company that is planning to acquire lands in those ravaged areas and to build houses, not board houses, to build houses for the victims. The planning is in its infancy stage, so, as soon as things materialize, I will give you all the details. Oh, stay tuned. We are going to start the program this evening by sending out belated birthday greetings to Sister P, yes, the former Prime Minister of Jamaica, Portia Simpson Miller. Yes, she set the record for women leadership in Jamaica, and she's not well, but she's alive, and she celebrated her 80th birthday last week. Belated happy birthday, Sister P. Listen to what former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson, this is the man who Portia succeeded. Listen to his birthday greetings to Sister P.
I can't believe that 55 years have passed since I had the great pride and privilege of meeting a young miss at the national arena. She came to me, handed me a pamphlet which I was saying for the first time, "We say PJ." Ever since then, it's been a wonderful experience seeing her grow, passing through all the stages of being a councillor, member of parliament and parliamentary secretary, until she became a vice president of our great party, president of our women's movement, and then later on succeeded me to become the 7th Prime Minister of Jamaica. What a wonderful and inspiring journey. Portia, my sister, have a very happy birthday. You have earned the right to enjoy it in whatever way you choose to do. Sorry we are not going to be able to meet for a great big celebration as we did a few years ago, but I know your family and your close circle of friends are going to be there with you. We thank you for your service. We thank you for your dedication. We thank you for the fine example you have set, which reminds us that in the discharge of our duties, in the execution of our office, and particularly relevant at a time like this, we must look out for the poor, the vulnerable, the aged, the women, and the children. Thank you, Portia. Have a happy, happy birthday, and many more to come.
Yes, that was former Prime Minister P.J. Patterson there. And of course, as he said, that, we are not able to have a big party for Sister P, but I am sure that she had a wonderful day. Yes. And, when we speak about Portia, many people remember, many people remembered her. Yes, she was a giant of a woman. Well, as we say on this program, that the recovery process is going to be a very long and difficult one. Yes. And we are still waiting to hear from the government about its plans to resettle the homeless. Because, as we have pointed out repeatedly, that there are thousands who are homeless today. And the process to resettle them, from our perspective, the first step that must be taken is to make it possible for those people to have access to land. Because many of them, significant numbers, were living on rented or captured properties. And so we believe that, yes, they are in need of food and water and clothing. Yes, they are in need of that, but I would suggest that land, they would welcome a plot of land right now more than any care package with food and water. Yes, and therefore we are urging the government to make that bold step to address the land issue. The government has access to land in those parishes that were badly hit. Yes, they have access to land. And therefore, we want them to take steps to address that matter. At the same time, we want, at Rebel Radio, we want to send our condolences to relatives, friends, and associates of the late CEO of the Gleaner, RGR Gleaner Group, Mr. Anthony Smith. Yes, he passed away over the weekend, you know. Yes. And as a member of the media fraternity, we are sending our condolences to his family, friends, and associates. And I didn't know the gentleman, but you know, as I have said repeatedly, mankind, in the midst of life, there is death. And for man and woman, mankind, death is a certainty. But death is something that, although we are sure of it, we are sure that we are going to die one day. That is something that mankind has not really accepted. Yes. It is really something that we don't accept at all. We don't, you know, we don't come to terms with it because it is something that is, you know, really unsettling. And one of the reasons is because, you know, death is final. Yes. That is the final bell. And, you know, when we lose one of our colleagues, we really are distressed. just last week, we buried one of our colleagues, Professor Charles. Yes. And here it is this week. As I said, Mr. Anthony Smith has left us. May his soul rest in peace. Yes, and, I will urge his colleagues to try and implement some of the good things that he did, and just try to keep his spirit alive. It is really, as I said, heartbreaking. Well, today is what, the 15th? Well, that means that's what, a week and a half away, Christmas. Yes, and we are closing 2025. Yes, and preparing for 2026. Let us take a break. This is Rebel Radio.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, Hardware and Supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring and more. At Tools, Hardware and Supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica eyes were built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're reaching heights, energy that lights the sky.
JPS, power in what matters.
Yes, welcome back to Rebel Radio, and we are going to play a video of the Barbados Prime Minister, Mia Mottley. He gave us, this speech was, for Caribbean civilization, and this was delivered on October 25th at the 25th annual conference of the Barbados Labour Party. Let us listen to Mia Mottley.
We don't need to look any further than the menacing vessels, military vessels from the United States across the Caribbean Sea, including what is reputed to be the world's largest warship. These are...
Thank you, Africa.
We will continue, and I give you this assurance, to be an example of good governance in the Caribbean region. And this is so important. We will continue to champion democracy, human rights, and the rule of law internationally, Kerry, because we have seen how fragile countries can be and how easy it is to dissipate. Our voices in international fora will always stand on principle, whether it is speaking up for the sovereignty of small nations or calling for countries like Cuba to be protected and to be brought back into the international community by removing embargoes or calling out global inequities. If ever we needed a reminder of how unstable and how dangerous this world that we live in is, and how vulnerable our Caribbean region is, it is now with us, facing a multiplicity of threats. We don't need to look any further than the menacing vessels, military vessels from the United States across the Caribbean Sea, including what is reputed to be the world's largest warship. These are not times of pirates anymore. This is 2025, and we have cause to be duly concerned. Because even as that is happening, one of the most dangerous hurricanes for the 2025 Atlantic season is bearing down on our brothers and sisters in the Northern Caribbean. Melissa. We are facing, my friends, an extremely dangerous and untenable situation in Southern Caribbean. And as a people with a tragic history of being subjected to centuries of big power, orchestrated genocide, terrorism, and warfare, and as a small state, we have invested tremendous time and energy and effort in establishing and maintaining our region as a zone of peace. Peace is critical to all that we do in this region. And now that peace is being threatened, we have to speak up. I want to thank the former prime ministers of the community, the very strong statement issued by them for the fundamental principle that was agreed upon on the formation of the Caribbean community by the Honorable Dr. Eric Williams. I want to thank them because without their statement, we are possibly going to have others think that those who now lead governments are speaking in vain without reflecting on the fact that this has been a core principle of the Caribbean community from its very inception. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Prime Ministers. I believe that the time has come for us, therefore, to be able to ensure that we do not accept that any entity has the right to engage in extrajudicial killings of persons that they suspect of being involved in criminal activities. As I said, we stand for the rule of law. And we believe that if there is other intelligence available that would cause you to take action that is an immediate threat to you as a nation, then you have a duty to share it with us. But on the face of it, conflating law enforcement with military action is a dangerous step, as Kerry Simmons advocated a few weeks ago. We equally do not accept that any nation in our region or the Greater Caribbean should be the subject of an imposition upon them of any unilateral expression of force and violence by any third party or nation. If there are conflicts and disputes that are in need of resolution, then the place that they need to be taken for such resolution is the United Nations organization. And the methodology that must be deployed for the resolution is one of negotiation and peaceful actions taken in order to ensure that we can settle disputes. Barbados has always been that place, and that is why we were the location for the opposition and government in Venezuela to sign the pact here a few years ago because we are friends of all and satellites of none. And I say so comforted that this has been the position of every single government of the country since independence. The violent actions that this buildup has led to needs to be the subject of dialogue. And I have said before, almost every war in the world in history has been ended by dialogue. So let us have dialogue to stop the war rather than to prevent the war from starting rather than to stop it when it has started. And as far as the Northern Caribbean crisis is, on behalf of all of us, I extend our prayers to those who are fearing the worst with Hurricane Melissa. To the people of Jamaica, I have already reached out to Prime Minister Holness. We've already reached out to the President of the Presidential Council in Haiti, Monsieur Laurent Sancerre. To the people of the wider region that is likely to be affected in the Cayman Islands, in the Turks and Caicos, in the Dominican Republic, and of course, my sister in Cuba, who cannot take another hit like the people of Haiti or Jamaica. I ask you to join tomorrow as we go to our churches to ensure that we offer the prayers up for our brothers and sisters, because I can tell you, I was in Jamaica when Hurricane Gilbert hit, and it was a life-altering scenario for me. In order to make it light work, you know I've said it over and over. Demonstrate by your deeds, by how you treat your fellow man and woman, by the effort you put into work and all of these things. Let us do this and rekindle the spirit of community that saw us come through COVID successfully when we pulled together as one and when neighbors took care of each other as they did in before. I often reflect on the words of our national pledge. I pledge allegiance, let me hear you, to my country, Barbados, and to my flag, to uphold and defend their honor, and by my living, to do credit to my nation wherever I go. By my living, by your living, let us do credit to our nation. And whether we are in a foreign land or whether we are here, let our character show and shine. Let people say, that is a proud Bajan. That means zero tolerance for corruption. We didn't tolerate it and we will not do it. It means standing up against powers that want to undermine and discriminate or provide injustice. Everybody must be treated fairly, even if it means sometimes I got to brace up some of ours to do so. Our music, our people, our stories, our cuisine, we are Bajan, and who else can defend it but us? And as we remember the trials and triumphs of our foreparents, let us draw strength from them. They had it harder than anything any of us have ever had to face. We have had abundance, times of plenty compared to them. And we need to make sure that we can stand on their shoulders, but we can build. Because without that, the story of Barbados' growth will come to an end at this point in time.
Thank you, Africa. Mama Africa, oh, yeah. You make Africa great. Thank you, freedom.
Some music.
I'm sure to next. Just God me a deal with that.
So what I want, my friend George Dukes? Why, Richie Steven? When us day I did the almighty praises. And the best thing that, cause when I remember just when I am coming from to where I'm stranded down, fell to my knees in praise of your name. Thanking you, Lord, every step of the way. Oh, Father, you know I love you. you are. I won't be ungrateful to you, my Lord. I know that this world is all in your hand. We are your children, and so we give you praise. Oh, Father, you know I love you. You touch my heart, my soul, with your mercy. I thank you, my Lord, for all you've done for me. You bless my life in so many ways. Father, I know in so many ways. Oh, Lord. So when I remember just where I'm coming from, hey, to where I'm standing now, fell to my knees in praise of your name, thanking you, Lord, every step of the way. Oh, Father, you know I love you. You touch my heart, my soul, with your mercy. I thank you, my Lord, for all you've done for me. You bless my life in so many ways. Oh, I will never ever leave you out. I won't be ungrateful to you, my Lord. I know that this world is all in your hands. We are your children, and so we give you praise. Oh, Father, you know I love you. You touch my heart, my soul, with your mercy. I thank you, my Lord, for all you've done for me. You bless my life in so many ways. I've had many tears and sorrows, questions for tomorrow. There's been time I didn't know right from wrong, but in every situation, God gave me consolation. That my trials come to make me strong. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His words. I've been to lots of places, seen so many faces. There were times I felt so all alone, but in my lonely hours, those special hours, Jesus let me know that I am His own. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His words. I thank God for the mountains, thank Him for the valleys, thank Him for the storms He brought me through. As if I didn't have problems, I wouldn't know that God could solve I'll fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff that comfort me. Those wicked will come upon me to eat up my flesh. They will stumble and fall. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to put my trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His word. Through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to put my trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend upon His word. Trust in Jesus. Trust in God. Through it all. Lord have mercy. God in the day, it's still God in the night. Life is easy when you're on top of the mountain. You've got peace of mind. I can never know. Yeah, but things change when you're down in the valley. Don't lose faith, or you're never alone. For the God of the mountain is still God in the valley. When things goes wrong, He'll make them right. And God of the good times is still God in the bad times. God in the day is still God in the night. Talk of faith when you're on top of the mountain, but talk to easy when life at its best, but it's down in the valley of trials and temptation. That's when your faith is really put to the test. Lord of mercy, for the God of the mountain is still God in the valley.
Jamaica's Promise, a U.S.-based charity, was founded in 2001 by JLP MP Audrey Marks. This former U.S. ambassador was appointed by Andrew Holness and is loyal to him. The charity's support team included the late Alshan Roach, former NY Consul General. They are collecting funds for the Stay Strong Jamaica Hurricane Relief Concert. This concert, to be held on January 2nd at Hard Rock Cafe, is for hurricane recovery efforts. Although the flyer mentions Hard Rock Heals Foundation, Jamaica's Promise is the actual entity behind it. This same charity has fundraised for Andrew Holness's election campaign this past September. Why isn't the designated government website collecting funds for this relief effort? US-based charities should not be politically affiliated. This raises serious questions.
His presence daily. I surrender all. I surrender all. All to thee, my precious Savior. I surrender all. Jesus, I surrender. Humbly at His feet I bow. Worldly pleasures all forsaken. Take me, Jesus, take me now. I surrender all. I surrender all.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagley Park Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica eyes were built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're reaching heights, energy that lights the sky.
JPS, powering what matters.
Lord, I'm ready. Lord, I'm ready. I'm ready. Lord, I'm ready for your calling. I know you will let me when I'm falling. With all the obstacles that's in my way, you move them all away. Lord, I'm ready for your calling. I know you will let me when I'm falling. With all the obstacles that's in my way, you move them all away. Your grace is all that carries me through the dark. You shine your light so I can see. Even when I was down on my knees, you set me free. Lord, you bring my shield from my enemies. In your loving home, that's where I got to be. To stay within your grace for the rest of my day. Lord, I'm ready for your calling. I know you will let me when I'm falling. With all the obstacles that's in my way, you move them all away. Lord, I'm ready for your calling. I know you will let me when I'm falling. With all the obstacles that's in my way, oh gosh, you move them all away. Lord, I turn to you when I'm in need. Your love is just like the air I breathe. Heavenly Father, you're truly a friend indeed. There is so much that I got to say. I could go on about you every day. Your name I will always praise for the rest of my days. Rest of my days. Rest of my days. Heavenly Father, yeah. Lord, I'm ready for your calling. I know you will let me when I'm falling. With all the obstacles that's in my way, you move them all away. Lord, I'm ready for your calling. I know you will let me when I'm falling. With all the obstacles that's in my way, you move them all away. Your grace is all that carries me through the dark. You shine your light so I can see. Even when I was down on my knees, you set me free. Lord, you bring my shield from my enemies. In your loving home, that's where I got to be. To stay within your grace.
Yes, welcome back to Rebel Radio. And, as we know, we continue to discuss the disaster that has hit so many of our brothers and sisters. And, you know, one of the things is that the focus and most of the discussion is concentrated on what happened in St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland, because those two parishes were badly hit. As you know, Black River was obliterated. But one of the things that we must know, that other areas, like for example in Trelawney, I know of areas in St. Anne, St. James suffered serious damage. Well, I have with me Pastor Constantine of the Jamaican Orthodox Mission. And we are going to talk about the devastation in Trelawney and what people are facing there. Pastor Constantine, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome. Thank you for letting me join your program another time. It's a pleasure.
Yes, sir. Now, I would like you to tell us what is happening or what has happened in Trelawney and how are people coping?
Well, for starters, we are currently in recovery mode. A lot of cleaning up has been done, especially based on what I'm seeing in the Falmouth town. There's a lot more to be done, but most of the cleaning up has been done.
Right.
And the persons are still trying to rehabilitate their homes. It's a common thing to be walking past and say, they're falling on person's home. So every step you make is see a blue tarpaulin on somebody's property. So persons are doing their best. Some persons just can't afford it to at least do a full rehabilitation of their premises. And some areas are still without electricity and water. Some areas have constant water, but some persons are still without the basic supply of electricity and water.
Yes, sir.
Some persons still have to couple with, if there is a rainfall, they have to be home just to ensure that they take care of the leakage that is taking place.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So basically, we can see the greenery coming back to the trees, and there's life in terms of the port. The port in Falmouth has reopened, so we are seeing the return of tourists in the area.
Yes.
But life continues, but for many persons, especially in the farming area, they have lost a lot of livestock and, their crops. For persons who live in Trelawney but work outside of Trelawney, like in the hotel areas, they are without jobs right now because a lot of the hotels on the North Coast have been closed down. And recently we have heard that the Hyatt Group won't be opened until next year, November, and that includes about 7 hotels.
Yes.
So we have thousands of people without work currently.
Yes. Now, is it the case, tell me, like in Westmoreland, a number of the houses that were destroyed were board houses? Now,
right.
In Trelawney, do you have similar situation where some of the victims, they were living on land that either rented or captured, squatted on?
Yes, similar circumstances. Especially persons living in the Egg settlement area.
Yes.
That are, board houses. You have persons going to Friendship Wakefield, east side area, birdhouses. So mostly in the rural areas, and then you have places right in Falmouth Falmouth is an historical landmark, but the infrastructure there cannot withstand hurricanes like Melissa's, which has just passed through, and the infrastructure there is limited to having the premises being built in a certain way.
Yes.
And even there, it's lowland here. So a lot of flooding took place as a result of the passage of Melissa, and the Materbury River overflowed its banks and came down into the town. I'm not too sure what will be in terms of the future planning of that area, because when there is any major rainfall, the town suffers some sort of flooding.
Oh.
And that is also contributed by the poor maintenance of the drainage system.
Yes.
Even though the cleaning of the drains took place like a few days before the hurricane, but right after the hurricane, there was some cleaning up, but the drains in some areas are still blocked.
Okay.
So when there is rainfall, there is still water being settled in some of the streets.
Yes, sir. Yes. So in those areas, Pastor Constantine, where those people were squatted on lands, it is a situation where for their recovery, that the land issue must be addressed.
Yes, it must be addressed. And it's a bit difficult for some persons even going through the proper channels to do that. First of all, for the captured land areas, they don't own it. So in terms of the trying to rehabilitate what is left or trying to put up something new, they have to put the temporary structures just the same.
Yeah.
So the same old process will take place. So they just have to make do of the situation, and until something better turns up. I'm not too sure what through parish council or the proper or the agencies can do to assist those persons. But for many of them, they have been living on those lands for quite a number of years. I know in some cases, the land agency, have been trying to see if these persons can properly own the land. I'm not too knowledgeable about that aspect of it, though.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's, as I said, something will have to be done to address that issue, because I am certain that those people would welcome access to the land right now more than a care package. I am certain they would. Yes. So your mission, your church, what are, I can well imagine that your church has been active in assisting the people. Tell us about that.
Well, we have been doing some fundraising. Most of this fundraising continuously has been done overseas. The Orthodox Church supports our mission here in Jamaica, and they have seen, by way of the internet, the news, the chaos that has taken place here in Jamaica, and different groups, different fractions of the Orthodox Church has been trying to do some fundraising to help us and to assist us as best as possible to see how best we can assist persons who have been severely affected by the hurricane. So far, apart from distributing care packages, we have made some disbursement in terms of assisting persons financially to purchase materials needed to rebuild. And so a number of persons have benefited from that, and restoration has been taking place in terms of persons, because we have targeted persons who we know personally persons who have been attending our church services and who we know that have lost everything. There are several families we know personally that has lost everything. So we have been trying to help those persons and persons who I know personally through my work and persons who are living in communities connected to where I'm familiar with. And you have persons who have just turned up at our church who have heard about what we are doing. And, they have spoken to me personally and to say, this is a situation. Are you able to assist? There is a situation currently in St. Catherine where somebody reached out to me because of what they have heard. And that person is an elderly person who's also severely affected and is in need of some assistance. So we have been, voicing those concerns to our benefactors, our donors, and those persons that have been trying to accumulate stuff. Some of those groups members of those groups will be joining us here on the island sometime in next month, and they'll be making some distributions in the areas that we have targeted that seem to have been affected. So we have been doing something. It might not be much, as much as we want to, but it's a lot compared to, if we were doing this all by ourselves. We just can't do it all on our own. So we are so grateful for the support that we have been getting from overseas. And many of these persons, they are doing it from their heart. They don't know the individuals. They just want to help. They genuinely want to help. And when they hear about Jamaica and what has happened, they have sought out, our church as an avenue which they are familiar with as a means to helping anybody who needs our assistance at this time.
Yes, sir.
So we are doing our best.
Yes, I can really understand that. And as some of your church members themselves were their homes were damaged also, right?
Yes. We have some persons who have damage to their roofs. Even some persons who the electrical aspect of their homes have taken in a lot of water. Yes. We have persons who not only lost the roof, but the contents of the home. Some persons have lost their farm, but we have so far assisted, those persons who belong to us, and we have extended that help to persons who are beyond, not members of our church, but might have been connected in some way to our church, and we are extending that further to persons who, some of them we don't know, but have reached out to us for assistance.
Yes, sir. Yes. And so, tell us, by the way, just where in Trelawney you are located, Pastor Constantine?
So our northern community is located at 10 King Street, Falmouth, Trelawney.
Oh, you are in the capital.
It used to be yes. So it used to be the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning School, that building. It used to be the former Jamal as well. So the building used to be a well-known school in the area. So we have been occupying that building since September of this year. And that's where we are currently based, and we are trying to be in some way a light, in the community. We have been there since 2019, but not in our own place. But we are more visible now, considering we have our own location. And being there, we are trying to see how best we can actively, spread the Orthodox faith and to, in a tangible way, affect lives.
Yes.
And I believe the hurricane is just one way of us trying to use this situation to assist persons in a more tangible way.
Yes, sir. Yes, understood. very, very challenging situation facing the people right now. So you have members. You are based in the capital in Falmouth, but you have been accessing, or you do cover or have knowledge of what is happening in the rural areas.
Yes, and that is also because I'm a probation aftercare officer, so Trelawney is my jurisdiction, and I've been operating in that area since 2013.
Okay.
So, you know, doing field work and investigation, community work, you know, rehabilitation work, outreach. I'm familiar with a number of the communities.
Yes.
So a lot of persons know me, you know, and even being an Orthodox priest and monk, I'm more visible now. So when they look at me, they know that, you know, I'm an Orthodox priest, or that's the probation officer. So based on that, I'm able to at least acknowledge some of the situation, or you know, that has been affecting persons.
Yes.
So based on that, I'm able to, you know, help them through my church as well, you know, inform the members of my community to say that, you know, I came across this situation. Let us see how best we can assist those persons or that individual.
Yes. And you mentioned something earlier on which my listeners might not know, but just to repeat that Trelawney is one of the main, as a matter of fact, it is the main yam producing parish in Jamaica, Trelawney.
Yes, yes.
And I can well imagine some of the yam farmers there took a serious beating, sir.
Yes, and some of the roads that these young farmers use, you know, to journey from home to their field, you know, has been destroyed. I know in some areas in southern Trelawney, there has been a number of landslides, and most of the road areas were taken. I'm not too sure now what, if anything, has been done to make some restoration to those roads. But I know that I've seen videos where there were a number of breakaways, and a lot of homes were affected by that. And, you know, there was this video that I saw where the lady lost not just the land, but the house, you know. So she won't be able to reside there again. Both the land and the house was taken because of that landslide.
Yes.
You know, so there are a number of persons that have been displaced because of this.
Yes.
You know, a lot of thinking thought has to go now into, if I could build a house, is this a good place to build it? Is this a false line in terms of an earthquake?
Yeah.
You know, and southern Trelawney is known to have a lot of landslides.
Okay.
You know, based on the terrain, it's a copy country. But even a few days ago, I was talking to a young man, and the home where he was residing, he lost the roof, so he's staying with a family member now. However, he has a land, and you know, I had made some suggestions to him as to how he would be able to get some assistance. But he was also saying that since the passage of the hurricane, he has not seen anybody to assist him. So he does his professional job, but he's also a farmer. And he lost his crop. But he's saying he has not seen anybody in his area. That's in Freeman's area,
yes,
in southern Trelawney. That's close to Albertown. So you might have areas that have not yet seen any sort of assistance. You know, so you know, I don't know if it's, you know, I'm not too sure what has happened that has caused a disconnect. But I know for certain that many churches have been going around, even churches that have left different parishes to come into Trelawney who have tried to assist persons.
Yes.
You know, but there are still pockets of communities that have not seen any major assistance at this time.
Okay. Understood. Well, one of the things that I can say is that we at Rebel Radio, we are going to maintain contact with you. So we want to, for example, keep your eyes out. Those areas, as you say, that where people were living on lands that were not theirs. We want you to keep an eye on that, because we are working with a group that has some plans to acquire land and build houses for victims, right? So I will have to keep in touch with you. Just tell my listeners, about the Orthodox Church.
Yes, I do appreciate that. For many persons in Jamaica, they might be familiar with the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, who has been here for quite a number of years. The Eastern Orthodox Church, though, has had its presence here in Jamaica for over a century. Many people don't know that, but what happened was that a number of Syrian immigrants, persons of Lebanese descent, who were fleeing from the World War II and the First World War, came to Jamaica, and with them they came with their Orthodox faith. Yes. It's just that they did not have any form of Orthodox church here. This was just new to them, so they would have set up ethnic communities trying to keep their faith, and Orthodox priests would travel from afar, like America and from Syria, coming to try to maintain some level of tradition and have services with these persons. So formally we have set up a mission here in Jamaica since 2015 to cater to the needs of Orthodox Christians who are here, I being one of the first converts to this mission. And ever since then, the mission has been developing and growing, and persons have been hearing about the faith. The church is basically the oldest form of Christianity in the world. It's the second largest Christian group in the world. A lot of persons don't know that, and it's quite traditional. It's the original form of Christianity, and it's quite different from the normal Christianity that person are used to, on the island. So when they do come across the Orthodox faith, they are coming across something that is ancient, that is very deep in the faith. It's very sober, and it speaks to your heart. If you're searching for something that has depth, that transforms you to the core, Orthodox is one of the ways in which you can be at peace and feel at home. And people are coming to learning about this faith and its practices. And as I said, the church has been growing. We have communities not only in Trelawney, there are a number of persons we have in Montego Bay, St. James, and a few persons in Hanover and Westmoreland, St. Catherine, especially in Linseed and Spanish Town, and we have persons in St. Andrew, Kingston.
Okay.
So we have, apart from St. Moses that I mentioned in Falmouth, we have St. Timothy, whose base is primarily centered around the St. Catherine and Kingston area.
Okay.
So we are doing our best to just spread orthodoxy and develop more parish churches on the island.
Okay. Well, we have to leave it there for today, but as I said, we'll keep in touch, and I want to thank you very much for your time today. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Yes, thank you as well, and thank you for having me.
Okay, Pastor Constantine there from the Jamaica Orthodox Mission. And as I said, you know, we are talking about Trelawney, and these are some of the places that were bad hit. Let us take a break. Now, this is Rebel Radio.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hard Hills.
Oh, Jamaica eyes were built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky.
JPS, powering what matters.
Yes, welcome back to Rebel Radio. And we are going to shift our discussion now onto politics. And I have with me one of Caribbean senior journalist, yes, Earl Bosque. And we are going to talk about political developments so far this year in the Caribbean. And you know what it has meant. You will recall that so far we have had elections in 6 of our neighbors, including Jamaica. Earl, good afternoon to you.
Hi, good afternoon, Desmond.
Yes, sir.
And good afternoon to listeners.
Yes.
To Rebel Radio.
Yes, Earl, thank you. So, Earl, we have had elections in 6 of our neighbors. And we have had changes in some of them. Have changes in St. Vincent. We have had changes in Suriname, in Trinidad, but the others have retained. So far, what have you made of these political developments, Earl, for this year 2025?
Well, I might be missing one, but my count is 5, starting with Trinidad and Tobago in April, and continuing with Suriname in May, St. Vincent in the end of November, St. Lucia on the 1st of December, and Guyana on the 1st of September.
Remember Jamaica.
What was I missing? And Jamaica. Yes.
Jamaica.
Yes, and Jamaica. Yes. Jamaica and Guyana were days apart in September.
Yes, sir. So,
so certainly what I make of them is, like you have said, they have reflected almost an even keel in responses in terms of 3 governments having retained office in Guyana, St. Lucia, and Jamaica.
Yes.
Yeah, and 2 opposition parties, one in St. Vincent, 3 opposition parties, one in St. Vincent, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes. Yes.
So we have an even keel, and of course, after elections in every country, you have the election observers making recommendations, some of which are always the same with regard to things like review of constituency boundaries and overseas voting and other calls that are often repeated and mainly ignored. But as time goes by, you have more qualitative differences with observers and commentators asking for more and better things to make Caribbean elections reflect more of what we can do with what we have than to continue to spin the horse race of first past the post. The Westminster electoral system that we have inherited, of course, it's been subject to changes, like in Guyana, where you have proportional representation vis-a-vis election for constituencies. But the whole idea of representation is one that more people are paying attention to. In St. Lucia, there was a very high turnout. 60.5% of the electorate voted for the to keep the ruling party for a second term and gave it an extra seat. And that is part of an alliance, an unusual alliance between a ruling party and 2 independent candidates who ran again as independent candidates on the same formula that was offered. These things usually don't sufficiently recognize is in the first past the post system, as in many instances, including St. Vincent and St. Lucia, the opposition can either win the popular vote and lose the election, or lose the election outright, like in Barbados, but still have a significant following, as in Grenada under Dr. Keith Mitchell as well. So the proportional representation in Guyana has its own flaws that have been identified, but when it comes to the allocation of seats there, the seats are distributed on the basis of the number of votes won totally as an average of the number of seats in the parliament, so that each party ends up with a number of parliamentary representatives that is consistent with the total number of votes won in the country, rather than as a reflection of the by 1 seat majority in any constituency. You also have increasing calls for something like, I hate to call it that, but we'll understand what it is, like a standard certificate, a minimum certificate for election candidates, because here you had a 21-day election, and then you had not only both parties fielding candidates in all constituencies, but you also had the highest number of independent candidates.
Yes.
And the ease with which one can become a candidate and the speed with which persons who will come out of the public service, for example, if they remove their cloaks and daggers to run elections, people are seeing that as more of the same. And that is generating a sort of general mistrust in something called politicians, which is now a patent, unfortunately, and like all politicians are the same. So it is a species that is despised generally by the elder generation, which hardly will encourage the younger ones to embrace politics. But again, as time moves on, youth involvement has grown, and in St. Lucia for the first time, we have seen a greater level of youth involvement by all parties.
Yes.
Same in Guyana. Same in Guyana. I don't know for Jamaica and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but from what I was seeing online from St. Vincent, that is also the case there. So the youth vote is no longer something that was regarded as, grown-up children, but in the age of innovation and creativity, their ability to look beyond and achieve beyond our horizons is finally being recognized by the political directorates. But the one point I'd like to highlight is, while we have the usual recurring calls for things like election campaign financing, this 2025 cycle has seen the introduction of unfortunate but real blatant interference in normally free and fair elections in CARICOM member states by ruling parties and prime ministers who in the elections in St. Vincent and St. Lucia took the opportunity of taking the unprecedented steps of, for example, the Prime Minister of St. Lucia indicated that identified delegates from the ruling Jamaica Labour Party were on the ground in St. Lucia supporting the opposition United Workers' Party, and similarly in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And in another departure from norms, one day after being sworn in, 1 or 2 days after being sworn in as the new Prime Minister of St. Vincent, Dr. Godwin Friday, as Prime Minister, made an online broadcast on election day in St. Lucia, calling on St. Lucians to vote for the opposition United Workers' Party. And thirdly, in the case of St. Vincent, not only did a member of the Kamla Prasad Bisesa government reveal what it should normally be private information about a transaction involving the Vincentian Prime Minister's wife, who also happens to be a Trinidadian. That information was revealed in violation of public code protection and confidentiality norms by a junior minister in the Ministry of Housing in Trinidad and Tobago. And the furor it caused was supported by Prime Minister Prasad Bisesa, who, during the final days of the campaign, said she had no problem with the action of her minister because she had reasons, she believes she has reasons to investigate it. Of course, that allegation of possible improper motive or action certainly had an influence in the St. Vincent elections. But there is a little bigger and deeper element of it in terms of foreign, not only being Caribbean-wide, but the existence of so far unidentified group of persons of extra-regional origin associated with the International Democratic Union and its regional arm with the Caribbean Democratic Union, who were seen heard and noted as having coordinated the Code Yellow campaigns in Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and St. Lucia. Similar codes for the opposition parties. But let's continue. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. One of the things that I would want to look at that in Guyana, where we had the newest party there is now the opposition party. The opposition leader has not been sworn in because, as you are aware, that an extradition order from the United States is before the court over there. So, and from indications, it would appear as if the Guyanese government is, in favor of him being extradited.
Well, the Guyanese government has no role in deciding whether he should be extradited or not. I think if that was the case, he would have been extradited a long time ago. I think the ultimate decision on extradition is a matter of the courts of law, in which the case continues. It has been continuing for quite some time, being duly heard and duly delayed, which is the ultimate reason why Parliament cannot be appointed, because the leader of the We Invest in Nationhood WIN party will not name another person to hold the position. He insists on holding it naturally as a defense in his plea against extradition. But the United States government has indicted him and his father and other persons on more than 10 counts in the United States, and they have formally requested the extradition, and it is left to the courts to decide, and there's nothing the Guyana government could do, which, if the prevailing wisdom is to be believed, they would have been extradited quite some time ago, because the United States, what they have revealed is that the company owned by his father, and of which he was a minor, deprived the Guyana government of $50 million US dollars in taxes on gold illegally exported to the United States and discovered on arrival in the States. So they have the double jeopardy, they face the double jeopardy of attempting to enter the United States with gold that is undeclared in Guyana, and in the process depriving the Guyana government and people of due taxes of $50 million US dollars. So the sanctions are, they follow under US law. And there is no preference in that case as to whether the guy is an elected politician or not.
Yes, okay. Well, it is interesting, the decisions of the court, as you said, that will decide whether or not he is extradited or not. But in the meantime, the Parliament, because my understanding, since the election, the Parliament has met only one time.
Well, I just pointed out that the Parliament cannot meet without a leader of the opposition. It can meet if Azruddin Mohammed appoints one of his 16 members, or how many? 16 members, as the leader of the opposition while he fights his legal case. But he insists on not doing that, and therefore assuming the position which he knows he cannot while he is facing an extradition case. Because if he gets appointed and then has to be extradited, that is another legal and judicial and political problem. So the normal thing to do would be to await the decision of the courts, which is what the Guyana government is doing. Yeah. And in the meantime, all of the other parties have named their MPs, and they have all been sworn in, including Mr. Mohammed, but not as opposition leader. There is another unknown factor in that, and that is that the opposition leader has to have the support of commissioners on the Electoral Commission. But the Electoral Commission was appointed by the APNU Alliance and not by his party. And under Guyana's laws, they cannot be forced to resign or to give up. And they have indicated they do not intend to give up. So that would mean that the leader of the opposition, if it is Mr. Mohammed or anybody in his WIN party, will not have representation on the National Elections Commission. So it's a very complicated matter, but all of them revolve around Guyana's judiciary, which has had a long history of dealing with election cases, including in 2020, when governance was hijacked for 5 months from March until June by a ruling party that refused to accept it had lost until the Caribbean Court of Justice intervened, and 5 months of unjust rule took place, during which a lot of the negotiations for oil contracts took place.
Yes.
So a lot of those things are interconnected. But I have no doubt that I think the case has now been adjourned until January, the extradition court case. So Mr. Mohammed will remain just subject to legal proceedings during the end of the year and into the new year. And the suspense will continue over whether he will be extradited or allowed to take his position.
Yes. Over in St. Vincent, Earl, it would appear as if that the voters believe that Dr. Gonzalez's time had come.
Yes, certainly that is what it would appear by the results. Bearing in mind his Unity Labour Party had been in office for 24 successive years, yes. Since the turn of the century. And it's important to note that here again, the opposition NGP had won the popular vote in 2021 or 2020, but didn't win the election. That also brings into consideration and turns on its head the claim by the European Union observer team in Guyana that the government had an unfavorable advantage of incumbency because it was able to open and launch major new projects just ahead of the elections.
Yes.
But the president correctly pointed out that those projects were election promises, and European ruling parties are not removed from doing likewise. And what it turned on St. Vincent turned that on its head as well, because incumbency on the part of the NDP did not turn out to be an advantage for Prime Minister Gonzalez and his government, but a heavy necklace, a heavy burden in the necks, by virtue of, like you said, people had made their minds up that they needed change. It would be interesting to again here look at the number of votes that Gonzalez party won vis-a-vis its representation in Parliament and likewise in St. Lucia. And it would be interesting, it is interesting to note that Gonzalez has been reported as having indicated he may not join the opening of Parliament, which has been interpreted to mean that he might not want to be sworn in, which would lead to his possible giving up of the seat and that leading to a local government election. In case of St. Lucia, the leader of the UWP, former Prime Minister Alan Shastney, submitted his resignation after losing 16-1 in the election, in the second defeat after the first one, 15-2. But it was turned down by the leadership until such time as the annual general or biannual general meeting comes where they elect new leadership. So Shastney will remain as leader of the UW and as the sole representative in Parliament, but there is no indication as to whether he's going to Parliament tomorrow, which is based on the fact that in 2021, when his party lost 15-2, he took what he called a holiday, that was 100 days, 3 months, and he did not return to Parliament to take office until 100 days later. Whether he's going to take another leave of absence this time will only be seen tomorrow. But tomorrow is the swearing in, not a swearing in, the first meeting
of the
Parliament after the cabinet was sworn in on Friday.
Yes. Well, it is interesting when you look at the results of the elections in St. Vincent, where the ruling party was virtually swept out of offices in St. Vincent. They'll only have one seat. The government retained only one seat, that of the leader. And in St. Lucia, the opposition party was virtually swept away also. Only one seat. It is interesting to see.
Well, in St. Lucia, what you had was the exact reverse of St. Vincent.
Yes.
Where in St. Vincent, the ruling party was swept aside for 14-1, and in St. Lucia, the opposition was swept aside 16-1.
Right.
So that is the difference in terms of the similarities and in opposite ways in the results in St. Lucia and St. Vincent. There continues to be some note of the deafening silence of Prime Minister Jamaica on the public statement by counterpart in regard to the JLP having dispatched members or members of the JLP being present in the St. Lucia campaign.
Yes.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But that is on a point of difference. There is also a point of similarity because during the visit to Jamaica by CARICOM leaders after Hurricane Melissa, Prime Minister Holness and Prime Minister Mia Mottley of Barbados condemned the reference and association by some parties, including St. Lucia, though not named, that were on record as basically playing out to gangs and displaying gang symbols. And actually, in the case of St. Lucia, the leader of the opposition saying that gangs do in fact serve proper purposes by providing means of engagement for youth who would otherwise be inactive. And that, of course, drew condemnation not only at home, but like I said, also from at least two other prime ministers. So there is that level of competition at the level of the yellow shirts and the red shirts.
Yes.
The Labour parties, the traditional Labour parties associated with Socialist International, and the yellow shirts associated with the International Democratic Union through the Caribbean Democratic Union, of which Alan Chasney is the vice chair of the IDU and responsible for coordination in the Caribbean. In fact, in June of 2024, the UNC in Trinidad, in opposition under Kamala Prasad Bisesa, hosted a meeting of the like-minded states member parties where they agreed to coordinate and work together and support each other in elections, just as was seen in the elections in Trinidad, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and St. Lucia. Yes. And in November, ahead of the St. Lucia and St. Vincent elections, Mayor Motley in Barbados did, on the other hand, call on Labour parties, red-shirted Labour parties, to guard against external efforts, to influence them, elections against them in different CARICOM states. So that is a clear battle. I have some friends who look a little closely and say it's not an ideological battle, and boil it down to one between right of center and left of center parties in the region, and not communist socialists as used to be held long ago.
Okay. Well, Earl, we have to leave it there for today, but this discussion is something we have to continue because, as you know, and you have been around long enough, we are one people and we must keep the discussion going. Thank you very much for your time today.
No problem, and our listeners of Rebel Radio.
Yes.
Have a nice.
Okay. That was senior Caribbean journalist there, Earl Basque, and we were talking about elections in the Caribbean. Let us take a break now. This is Rebel Radio.
Everybody sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky.
JPS, powering what matters.
Amazing grace, how sweet, sweet the sound that saved a man like me. Was great that told my heart to feel and grace my fears relief. Are you with me? So amazing grace, how sweet, sweet the sound that had saved a wretch like me.
Yes, welcome back. Monday, it's time for workers' time. This is where we spend time looking at what is at the workplace. Well, this evening we are going to be looking at, it is a sort of end of year report, looking at the state of trade unions in Jamaica. And we also want to look at the impact of the hurricane and get the perspective of the president of the Jamaica Employers Federation as to, what is how the employers are coping, and what is the impact on that sector. So I have with me Mr. Vincent Morrison from UCASE and President of the Jamaica Employers Federation here, Mr. Wayne Chen. I don't know why I lost him a while ago. Let me try and get him back. Yes. Yes, I'm trying to get back Mr. Chen with us, but I have with me Mr. Vincent Morrison, one of the senior trade unionists in the country. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Brother Vincent, Brother Desmond.
Yes, sir. And
good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
Good to hear my friend on the other line there.
Yes. And as we know, we are in the rebuilding. Yes, we are in the
sir.
We are in the rebuilding process, and this is going to be a long and difficult road. So let me start with Mr. Chen. Mr. Chen, so far, you know, what has the employers, how are they coping with the impact of this terrible hurricane?
Well, we see it on multiple levels.
Yeah.
We see it on the personal level, where many employers and workers have been directly affected by the impact of the storm, especially in the West. We see where the tourism sector and the agricultural sector in particular have taken a heavy hit. I myself, you know, beyond the news reports, I've gone down to the West, I've gone down to St. Elizabeth, I've gone down to St. James.
Yes.
I drove through South Trelawney just on Saturday. And I don't think the news reports really give you the full scale of the challenge that we have before us.
Yes.
I know I was quite taken back when I went down to Montego Bay a couple of weeks ago, shortly after the storm. And I realized that the hotels were more damaged than I thought.
Okay.
Let me put it that way.
Yes.
When I looked at the flood, Neck River came up, I looked at a facility in the Petrojam in the West, where the Pye River had come up. I think the damage is more extensive than could be described. We see figures, $8 billion and so on, but it's when you actually see the underground level
yes.
of destruction to homes. I was in Black River. Black River is totally reshaped. The only description I could use is I could only imagine a city after the war when bombs have fallen on the city.
Wow.
Yes. And there are other smaller communities, White House, Bluefields, Belmont, that took the full force. My daughter, my son-in-law, and my grandson were in the storm, and so really took a bad beating. So it's hard to really encompass it when we sit in Kingston. I'm in Mandeville right this moment. Mandeville saw something too, but it doesn't prepare you for when you go down the hill and you go west and see what has really happened. So at that level, those who are still without electricity, even though we are going to restore that in record time, those who have seen their crops washed away or blown away, the hotel workers who are going to be disrupted because each time you hear the hotels, some would say early 2026, now I'm hearing thousands of rooms won't come back online until this time next year.
Yes.
So you can only imagine, Brother Vincent, that I can only imagine tens of thousands of Jamaicans who work in the hospitality sector are going to be affected.
Yes, I see we are one hotel has closed.
And we talk about linkages. You know, the linkages go right down.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was on my supermarket and I'll be the first to confess when I was chatting to my staff and I took up 1 carrot. And by the time we put our regular markup, nothing additional or fancy. 1 large carrot planted by a Jamaican farmer. The retail price was going to work out at $590. Not in my lifetime would I expect that we see a carrot that could cost $590 Jamaican dollars.
Yes, yes, it is.
But it reflects the damage that has been done to our farmers.
Yes.
It's not wickedness that caused farmers to have to price the crops because they have to recover the cost of their labor, their fertilizer, the time, everything that they have put in. And that is just how the market works.
Yes.
I mean, I saw somebody post a sweet pepper that cost $900. When I saw an article on the front page of the paper just a couple of days ago, Scotch bonnet has reached $6,000 a pound.
Yes.
So the impact is real. It's real on consumers. It's real, of course, as I say, on the farmers and on the hospitality workers and the other sectors in the West. But it's real on all of us. And this is where the Employers Federation has really been holding hands with employers, because we realize that all Jamaicans, every one of us, here and abroad, who have a heart, who who are empathetic, who feel connected to this country, have been affected, because we cannot sleep comfortably knowing that so many of our brothers and sisters are looking up at a blue tarpaulin tonight.
Yes.
I'm not sure whether rain will get them up, or don't have no work, who have lost their clothes, their school books, their furniture. I passed a church in Trelawney yesterday. That the only thing left of the church is the benches. They put the church benches right outside. Okay. Nothing else left, not a wall standing.
Yeah, yes. It is going to be a long and difficult road. That is something that is the real situation facing us right now. And
the great thing, though, I'll say this: there's one common theme that I've heard from employers, from workers, from ordinary Jamaicans, from exalted Jamaicans, is that we are a resilient people and we'll find a way to come through this.
Yes, yes. Mr. Morrison, what have you seen so far?
Well, when you talk about a Category 5 hurricane, you talk about a massive implement that, the sort of infrastructure that we have in the West, Black River, Westmoreland, Trelawney, St. Ann, St. James, Hanover, just couldn't, just cannot manage the Category 5. I'll tell you what happened. Why? Some years ago when we had Hurricane Katrina, Portia Simpson was then the Labour Minister. We had a team, we had workers in the H2B hotel program in South Carolina, and we made a visit there. And I was shown massive hotels, which was moved from one side of the road to the other side, And that just tell you, talking about massive hotels, at least 2 or 3 hotels were shown. And, if I didn't see it for myself, I wouldn't believe it. So we could use that example to judge the problems that now confront us in Jamaica. And let me say, we are lucky as a country. We are God blessed as a country, because if Melissa had hit Kingston,
wow, no,
it would have been. No. It would have been probably goodbye.
We wouldn't be talking right. We wouldn't be talking right now.
Right, because the assistance that is being given to our people in the West, we wouldn't be able to do it. I haven't had the chance to go into Westmoreland proper, but I've been in Black River. And as Wayne said, the destruction down there is massive. And yes, hotel, agriculture, and other sector have had tremendous problems. What I would want to suggest, however, is that those hotel workers who won't be able to go back to the hotels that they are now engaged to, if we could talk to the people, I know we have a program where each year we sign up a number of workers in that sector to work in the hotels. But if we could have some direct discussions to see how we could place some of these workers in hotels across the United States, I think that would be a bonus, a good thing.
Yes.
If we could do that. And I would want to say to the Minister of Labour, maybe he could start some discussion with the hotels in the state to see how we could, supply some of the workers so that we wouldn't have a situation where a lot of the workers being laid off from the hotel, out of a job in Jamaica, because they could be able to get some work in the hotels.
Yes.
And I would want to believe that not only the U.S., but there are other countries that may need workers. The Bahamas, for example, is one country that we could look on. But the key thing is to find employment for those workers who would be affected.
Yes.
And I'm sure Mr. Bartlett, very skillful, knows the industry, both locally and internationally, inside out, and knocking head with the Minister of Labour. I would believe that something has to be done, because going forward, creativity is going to be very, very important. Very important. Now, let us turn to agriculture. Very good news to have heard that a group of Jamaicans, led by a gentleman, very well, Dr. Carew, will be taking on a greenfield project in the form of starting a new sugar factory. But I was a bit taken back, because my information was that they wanted to restart Monomos.
Yes.
You know, the Chinese had the ownership, now owns the big tree, Monomos, Bernard Lodge, and Froome.
Yes.
And I was taken aback because I would have thought there would have been discussions between this group and the Chinese, so they could, start as we speak at Monomos, instead of going to build a brand new factory. But here again, the factory is owned by the Chinese, and if they don't want anybody to get involved, then that's their business. That's their ownership there. I would also want to know what is happening to Alpart, because when you'll understand that St. Elizabeth, with the problem in agriculture down there now, if Alpart restarts, that could be a big bounce, big help to agriculture. Agriculture on its own, without workers being able to earn elsewhere, like in the bauxite and aluminum sector, so they can purchase goods and services to prime and to get a jump start to agriculture. That is what is needed, in my view, going forward. But as they say, one hand can't clap. What we need is the cooperation and the coming together of all the sectors. Manufacturing, agriculture are key in this regard going forward.
Mr. Morrison, what was the reason why the Chinese had closed Alpart? What?
Up to now, I think the at the time the price of aluminum was not doing too well, but there is a rebound. Aluminum, which sets the price for aluminum in Jamaica, and the London's market, LMS, whatever, is doing well. When you look on Bloomberg, the price of aluminum is well nearly 2,000 US, and that is good. That is extremely good. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, with all that is happening internationally, I believe that aluminum is going to rebound very strongly. You know.
Okay.
And I would like to hear from the Chinese exactly why they can't be a full summer start.
Yes.
I know that you see Rusal Aluminum. They are trying their best, and they have new management, and I'm hoping that they will continue to do. I don't see Kirk Bryan coming back on stream, unfortunately, because that plant has been virtually cannibalized to keep the Yorkton plant at Yorkton. But they have been doing some tremendous work. They have been putting in haul roads at Yorkton St. Anne. They have been mining new greenfield projects. And as I understand, there's life in bauxite and aluminum, in spite of what some people might want to say. But I think now is the time to ramp up all of these areas so that we can support the reconstruction and the rebuilding of the Jamaican economy.
Yeah.
Every single industry, wherever it exists in Jamaica, going to be very, very important for the whole reconstruction and the rebuilding of the country.
Yeah. Mr. Chen, you know something I would like to ask you. When you look at the recovery program so far, what are some of the main elements that you see that should be prioritized at the moment?
Well, you know, everything goes in phases. You would have seen that the cost is tremendous. Not just to write off the cost or infrastructure, private and public, is over $8 billion US, which, you know, that is 40% of your GDP. But so far, I would say so far so good. We have never had as a country in our history to respond to a shock of this magnitude. We responded to COVID just recently. We responded to Hurricane Beryl last year, but neither of them really came close to this. COVID was disruptive, but it was not destructive.
Yes.
Beryl was destructive, but Beryl, they estimated loss of Beryl, I believe, was around 500 million. So we're talking about 1/16 or 1/28.
Yeah.
The scale of destruction that Melissa wrought. So
and Gilbert was not as bad as this one.
Not at all.
Yeah.
So the fact is that the country, and I want to say the country because I don't want it to look like just a government effort, because a country has to recover. Government can do so much, individuals, companies, enterprise, NGOs. It's a collective effort. The first effort is to make sure that we do as little harm as possible. In other words, people must get food and water and shelter right away. And you can tick that box. So I don't think anybody in Jamaica was out of food and drinking water for more than 24 hours. Because I saw the helicopters, the big helicopters, we're talking about the big CH-47 Chinook that the Americans sent down a day after the storm and were fueled up and sent out west, dropping supplies into marooned communities. Marooned communities.
Yes.
Within 48 and 72 hours of the hurricane. So in terms of getting supplies to people, that was done very, very quickly. In terms of World Central Kitchen, Samaritan's Purse, all the private NGOs and all the different people who came to assist, whether it was the 300 Salvadorian soldiers, whatever it was, troops on the ground came in. Again, as I say, the scale of the destruction was great. But all of the early part, the relief I call it, let us say the relief phase, to make sure no one starves, make sure that medical assistance and so on is provided quickly. I think we can say we did a decent job there. The second phase, which is really now the recovery, trying to get everything back to normal. I know that the regular distributive trade, meaning getting the food, and I'm being very broad here, getting food back into the corner shop, if you understand me, using that metaphor to make sure that economic activity was restored. Let us work forward now, because the hurricane was the 28th of October, and we are sitting here on the 15th of December, basically 6 weeks and a little bit after the most massive hurricane or the most massive natural disaster this country has ever seen. And in terms of getting food out into the community, into the corner shop, I think that is pretty much there. When I was going through South Trelawney on the weekend, I went with trepidation, because when I had seen the photographs of where up at Low River, Lorimer's, Waitabit, and those communities where the road had given way,
yes,
I was a little worried. But when I went into those communities, life had come back, if you understand me. The electricity might not be back, but the shops have goods, the local man with his farm supplies and so is back up and running.
Yes.
Building material is going up, people are repairing their homes and so on. So that was the second job, to get the country back to normal, to get economic activity back up, to make sure that people who needed specific types of relief got the relief. I believe after the first month, I heard the government make an appeal to say that they will not now encourage the distribution of food packages. They are now looking to targeted relief, if you understand me. No, it is part of the phased approach. You know and I know, I don't want to broadcast it too loudly. Some people will join the line 3 and 4 and 5 times and have the food basket hoarded up. That's just a fact. Yeah. Any man in any community in Jamaica can tell you that. And it's hard to manage, because you know the people who are not accustomed to go and looking for something, they will sit on their house out of pride. You have a lot of communities now with elderly people. They can't take the hassle of going and joining a line, and they don't have no young family going to advocate for them.
Yes.
So you now have to say, is this the best use of resources at this time to get food and water to who need it? And the answer is no, but you have to transition now away from handing out basket to people to getting income into their hands.
Yes.
So what we advocate for is direct cash payments.
Okay.
Whether through part or through some program. But I also will say publicly, now is the time for the government to step up its game and move away from vouchers and move away from physical transfers and move now to virtual transfers.
Yes.
Where they'll move it to a stored value card, or they move it to a phone, as is done in other countries, where you make a transparent system now. I mean, in some Latin American countries, they have something called Bolsa Familia, which is a direct cash payment to the female head of the household. You hear how designed it is?
Yes.
Because you want to ensure that the money is spent well.
Yes.
You don't want to give it to the male head of the household, and I'm knocking men here, for them to go to the betting shop or go to the rum bar.
Yes.
They send it to the women to make sure.
The only problem with that system is the question of electricity.
It's virtual, you know. You don't need electricity, you know. In other words, now is that time for Jamaica to step up its game.
The phone runs on electricity.
Can I tell you something?
I was listening to
let me help you with that one, Brother Vincent. The day after the storm, people had set up their vehicles in town squares and community squares, charging phone and charging people. You hear me? Jamaican entrepreneurs and resilience. You know what, a man tell me that 48 hours after the storm, he was in deep rural St. Elizabeth. And he said the place was flat. He was heartbroken. But you know what he saw? He saw a man had set up 2 speaker boxes, plug it into his car, and people were out there singing and dancing and happy to be alive.
Yes.
You know,
gentlemen,
after burial, I discovered that thing, you know.
Gentlemen, just I want
you know Starlink?
Yes.
The biggest demand in Jamaica for Starlink was in the areas affected by burial.
Okay.
That is Elon Musk satellite internet.
Yes. Gentlemen, I want both of you to just hold it there for me while we take a break. This is Rebel Radio. Let us take a break.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
Oh, Jamaica eyes were built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside greens to golden shores.
We're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky.
JPS, powering what matters.
Yes, welcome back. Yes, and we're on Workers' Time talking to trade unionist Vincent Morrison, president of the Jamaica Employers Federation, Wayne Chen. Yes, Wayne, you were making a point before we took up.
What I'm making a point is that we talk a lot, and you'd have heard me on this program before, talk about the digital transformation. Now is a chance to make a quantum leap forward. In other words, we cannot go back and just do the things that we have done before. Mm-hmm. I am old enough to remember when the government launched a food stamp program in the 1980s. And I can tell you there was corruption in the program. Mm-hmm. It never reached all the recipients who were to get it. And there were people who just were able to stockpile the things, vouchers, and get more than their fair share. We now have technology that can help us. And I think we underestimate the capacity for ordinary Jamaicans to use the technology. Mm-hmm. If we say that you will get, just like when you get credit on your phone, yes, you will get money sent directly to your phone. Once you establish your unique identity using the National Identification System NIDS, once we move the legislation and the regulation forward to accept mobile money, it allows us now to move forward, you know. Mm-hmm. Once we create transparency in the system, that I am smart and I can join the line 5 times and send my friend go join it too, and we pile up the corned beef and we eat corned beef and sardine like we never eat before. Yeah. But rather than waste state resources like that, that we target the people who really need the assistance. Mm-hmm. That because it works in other countries, we're not unique in that. You know that the most advanced use of mobile money in the world is in East Africa. East Africa that doesn't have the electrical and road infrastructure we have, doesn't have the levels of education that we have. So if it can work in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, I don't see why it can't work in Jamaica.
Yes, understood.
You hear what I'm saying? And you can check M-Pesa and so. Yes. If Bolsa Familia can work in rural Mexico and rural Brazil, it can work in Jamaica. And we're not so unique.
You made one point a while ago that must be part of our recovery, and that is, yes, we must change, we must adapt new thinking and new measures. We shouldn't go back to the...
No, we can't go back.
No, and therefore, one of the things, you know, Wayne and Vincent, we have to look at, this Melissa has presented us with an opportunity to address some serious land reform in the country. Because
absolutely,
one of the things that happened, you know, in all the areas that were affected, significant numbers of those victims were living on land, either leased land or, and they were squatting, you know. So we can
informal communities.
Yes, we can rebuild. We can rebuild those informal communities, and we should not. We should seize the opportunity to address that.
We should seize the opportunity to identify state lands or other appropriate lands and resettle people.
Yes.
Don't go back and build in a water course. Don't go back and build in a flood zone.
No. Right.
Well, I've always often viewed that Jamaica was never short of land. I mean, the highways have opened up a lot of areas across the country when I drive from Mandela down to Winston Jones Highway. Tremendous amount of land. And, there's no question. Every disaster creates opportunity. And I agree that what we have to do now is to move very fast to put people and lands that are arable, lands that, we can't just construct, and lands that are supposed to be agricultural land. We have to make the distinction. But it's an opportunity. But I want to go back to the point I raised at the break about electricity. Yes, there are some communities that are still not yet lighted. And I'm hoping that the JPS and the technology companies will work together so that the technology, which depends on electricity in some areas, will be sufficient so that the people can get, all the benefits that have been coming in. We have quite a bit of international assistance, and that is excellent because it shows that Jamaica has not been forgotten. The people right across the world respect Jamaica and want to help. And I think this is a good sign.
Well, we see where the government...
Well, one of the things they respect about Jamaica is that in recent, across different administrations, there has been a commitment in the last decade, and just 1 month was to solve stable, which is why the dollars in commitments, private, public, and so on, for the rebuilding. That must be a record, given what this clearly about changing out how we look at the social safety net. I talked earlier about the opportunity now to roll out more of the digital transformation. But I also would like to talk about a revolution in governance and raise billions of dollars to squander, because that would be a blight on this generation to pass on that debt to a future generation. So even as we talk about mobilizing the funds and building back better and building a resilient country, we have to also talk about the structures in place to ensure that the money is well spent.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The governance.
And again, digital transformation can help us here, because this is now where we open up more transparency in what we are doing. We don't need committee after committee after committee. We need to use the technology now to say, if we're going to build a road, we need to say front to back. Who built it? What was the rate? What were the terms? You understand? We see that in real time. It shouldn't require an access to information request to go and find out what is going down.
Yeah.
It's where I am.
Yes.
So it requires, it requires the citizens to understand that anything that is spent today have to come from somewhere.
Of course.
Yeah. It requires effective participation. It requires.
And we can't sit on the sideline and complain. That's all I'm saying. We need to just get ourselves involved.
Yes.
And that's
so the governance part, what you are doing here now, Desmond, it's important because you have a platform, you have an audience, they will have heard our discussion. And I said to every citizen in this country, you have the right in your hand, not just to go vote when the election comes.
Right.
But we need to take an active role in your own democracy.
Yes.
The right that we have to speak here without anybody looking over our shoulder to say, you can say this, but you cannot say that.
Yes.
It's not a right that the whole world enjoys.
No,
there
sir.
are countries of billions that you don't have that right.
Don't have that right at all. And therefore, I am in total agreement with you, Wayne. We as citizens must take on more responsibility to participate and play a role in the governance of our society. We must do that. I don't think we are taking that responsibility serious enough. I don't think so.
Too many of us get too passive.
Yeah. Yes.
So we have that. There's one last thing I want to say. We were talking earlier about investing in different sectors, whether we're reviving the alumina plant at Nain in St. Elizabeth, the one owned by Gisco. I'm concerned, but not concerned, because that is a big industrial plant that can get up and moving. My biggest concern is investment in our people, in our human capital. And you've heard me many times on this program, sharing in the same company, you Vincent Morris and you Desmond Richards, saying that we are all concerned about the low level of certified, marketable skills in the Jamaican workforce, and by extension in the Jamaican people.
Yes.
We have to take that concern very seriously. We have to mobilize the resources now to train our people up. We have to make our BPO sector more resilient, but we have to take working in the virtual economy. Because if you concentrate our people in economic activities that are vulnerable to exogenous shocks, we will always come back.
Yes.
Move to the point where hurricane came, tourism is down, but it only affects 10% of the economy, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
Agriculture is down, or the hurricane come, but the agriculture is done practiced in such a way that we can bounce back quickly.
Yes.
You understand me?
Yes.
So we have to redesign the economy now to really put the investment in humans. You know what I say to my children and I say to my grandchildren? No matter what happens in life, there's one thing they cannot take away from you. And that is what you know, your skills, your competencies, your attitudes.
Yes, of course. Yes. Yes, you take that.
They could find themselves tomorrow morning with their house collapse, the shirt on their back, and they will find a way.
Yes.
So we have to educate our people. We have to train our people. The skills, the competencies, the attitudes of a modern society, not just economy, society.
Yes.
How to live better together.
I always believe that it's not a resource problem in Jamaica, because with an institution called heart, we shouldn't be on the back foot in terms of getting skills. I mean, there's no question that there are some countries where youngsters are telling you that, look, I don't want to get into a university right now. I want to go and earn a skill where I can start to pay my way to university. And this is something that we need to examine. We need to examine this very carefully. For example, in Australia, you have to have more than one skill. One of them they call
You have to stack skills. Stacking skills now, Vincent.
Yes. Yeah.
I know a young man, just to give an example, who is an expert finishing carpenter. He's an expert at writing prompts for artificial intelligence. He's an expert at data analytics. In other words, he has skills where he can use his hands, and he has skills where he can use his brain.
Yes.
That man will never starve,
No. And looking, what we need to do is that when we talk about upgrading the skills, we need to ensure that our young people take advantage of the technology that is available. They must be able to master it, right?
You know, every day I try to teach myself about AI, you know. Yes. Because if you don't, you're going to be obsolete very quickly, you know.
It goes without saying. That's because you're in China, as you were in restaurants. You're being served by robots, not waiter or waitress. By robots.
But you said you touched on an interesting one, you know. You know that the fast food restaurants in Jamaica are having a difficult time finding staff. I was in Japan this year, I was in Korea last year. Every year I try to travel to a place and learn things. You can go into a fast food place now in Korea, and it's 2 workers and 3 workers inside there, you know. You go in, you touch a screen, you understand me? You go to McDonald's and you touch the Big Mac combo.
Well, let us look on
the time you walk around, somebody hand you a meal.
What?
And you order your meals before you enter the premises.
Absolutely. You order it on your phone.
When you get into the premises, you don't have to wait.
But let me tell you something. Jamaica is going there, you know, because if employers can't get the consistency of staff, in other words, if a man is working in your fast food place and he's not happy because I'm making minimum wage and he's looking at you and he's not smiling when they hand you the burger or the pizza or the chicken, the employer is going to say, look, man, then what the touch screen costs, you understand me? Yes. Then what the automated kitchen costs. And he amortizes that cost out over 4 years, 5 years, and he doesn't have to have the payroll, the issue. No. And he has the convenience. The only time a human might come in is the maintenance crew that they outsource come in the days and clean place and come back out.
You know,
I've seen gas stations with 0 workers in them.
Yes. Okay.
Well,
and it might be the future of Jamaica because our population is aging rapidly. So coming back to the term you used earlier, and I want to caution us because none of us in this conversation are under 60 years of age. The fact is that young people are getting fewer and fewer. You know what my daughter said to me a few days ago? She couldn't tell the last time she walked into the supermarket and see a pregnant woman.
I had that discussion this week. Me and my wife were driving, and she said she couldn't tell when she saw a pregnant woman.
No, but think about it. But I can tell you right now, nobody wants to say it, and I will say it publicly. If you're going to deep rural Jamaica now, there are primary schools where the classrooms are half empty.
Yes.
And some schools are closing down.
What? No students?
But that is we will have to stay longer in the workforce, in the workplace. We have to work longer. Because there's no young children now to come and say, Grandpa, Daddy, go sit down now, you can rest.
Yes.
They're just not there. So the reality is, all the work will have to be trained up. It's not just a young people thing anymore.
I think what we may need in Jamaica is look on the whole scheme of migration and immigration. We did it years ago. Indentured servants. We may need to be looking in that direction.
Well, Jamaica not ready for immigration, you know. You see, the thing is, a decade ago, I spoke to colleagues in the other parts of the Caribbean, which Jamaica is late to the party, you know, because Trinidad, the median age in Trinidad is about 5 years higher than us. The rate of aging is higher in Dominica, St. Vincent, Grenada, some of the OECS than Jamaica. Jamaica coming now. I think our fertility rate is around 1.6, 1.5, somewhere there. Remember, you know, replenishment rate. In other words, the number of live births for a woman in her lifetime. Replenishment is somewhere between 2.1 and 2.3. Jamaica is at around 1.6. Some figures say 1.3. So we're not keeping pace. So what it means is that over time there will be fewer and fewer young people to look after the old people.
Yes.
So the first thing we have to get out of our minds is this business about retiring at 65 is absolutely not going to happen.
No, not going to happen.
The actuarial model is not going to support it.
No.
So we'll have to work longer. We'll have to work into our 70s.
You may need to talk to the separate group because I retired very early at 50, 55.
Yeah. People can retire, but you know what will happen? You'll wake up one day at 70 and realize that you thought you had a nice pension at 55. But the pension can't even get to the basic supplies.
Wow. Right now that is happening, Wayne. Right now that is happening. The pensioners what the pensioners are getting, they can't live off that at all. It's very difficult.
Well, I will tell you that for years I sat on different pension funds and different pension fund management boards, yeah? And I remember one particularly poignant story where the widow of a senior civil servant who had retired quite comfortably and died. 10 years after the man passed, the pension was even minimum wage.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It was healthy at the time, but by the time inflation took it, that was it.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. So it's
So you go from a comfortable life to living in poverty in a flash of two eyes.
Yes. It is not.
So if we don't want that fate, for elderly population, we have to plan from now. And one of the things is going to be lifelong learning and staying in the workforce longer. One of the things I saw in Japan, I want to tell you, I was in Japan in October, is going into that department store and the person who is serving you is in their 80s,
Whoa. Huh.
If you want to see old people working, go to Japan.
Yes, that is it. Well, gentlemen.
So you get a taste of future.
Yes.
20 years from now, 80-somethings will be working in Jamaica because who is going to support them?
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, we have come to the end of our discussion, but several ideas. There are several interesting things here that I only hope that people, in other words, going forward, it is going to require new thinking, new attitudes. Everything, there must be a change. Because, as you say, Wayne, we can't return to the things that we do in the past.
The good thing is that the trade union movement in Jamaica was never afraid of change.
Yes.
The trade union movement always
change. We have evolved, We have had tripartism. We now have social dialogue and partnership. We have to make it real.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think what people seems to misunderstand is that consultation. We are always talking about consultation because you can't have good change, effective change, reasonable change without consultation.
Yes.
And what we want to urge is let us talk.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, take care of yourself and stay safe. We know that it is going to be very
all the best to you both.
Yes. It's going to be tough.
All the best to your audience.
Yes.
Yes.
It is going to be
one country, one love.
Yes. It is going to be tough for many of our brothers and sisters, but let us continue. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Yes, that was Mr. Wayne Chen, President of the Employers Federation, and Mr. Vincent Morrison, President of UCASE, one of the leading trade unionists on workers' time. Well, let us take a break. This is Rebel Radio.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagley Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with their super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hard
Oh, Jamaica eyes were built with fire, passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky.
JPS, power in what matters.
To comment during the Frankly Speaking show, you first need to open the video that is being streamed live. Look for the chat box on the side or bottom of the video player. This is where you can type your message. Click inside the chat box and use your keyboard to type out what you want to say. You can type words, use emojis, or even ask questions. Once you've typed your message, press the enter key on your keyboard or click the send button. Your comment will then appear in the chat for everyone watching the live.
Good day. Glad to be back. Glad to be back after that too long break. Welcome to our viewers and listeners. Melissa Damage continues to dominate our lives and remains the center of conversation for many Jamaicans. That will be so for a long time. You must note that it has divided us too. For some people, it's something that happened to them down west. And that's also an error to believe it's down west alone. Then there are the constant accusations about corruption and debate about partisanship and incompetence in the distribution of relief, and a whole long list of social media highlighted concerns. Suffering is real and continuing for many. Is it time to start considering recovery? And what is that about? We'll speak with President of the Small Business Association of Jamaica, Garnet Reid, who has been seeing small business people in the worst affected parishes. We'll have a look at the life of Lenworth Fulton, former JS president, who's so well articulated and courageously spoke up for another important sector, agriculture. Patrick Maitland, publisher, will join us for that segment. Desmond Richards and Winnie Anderson Brown are our regular commentators, and they're with us today. As usual, you may send your posts, your comments and questions as outlined at the start of the podcast here on the YouTube channel, and we will definitely try to respond to them. Remember to like and share our podcast and subscribe to the Frankly Speaking Jamaica YouTube channel. Now, let's get right to it. Well, special welcome to Mr. Garnet Reid, but before we hear from Mr. Reid, Desmond is with us, and we want Desmond to tell us his view or his experience or his opinion on what has been happening post Melissa. And after that, we'll hear from Winnie. Desmond, go ahead.
It's frozen.
All right, Winnie, let's start with you because Desmond's not ready.
Okay.
Winnie, what have you been hearing? What's your impression? We are going back weeks, of course, because it's nearly 7 weeks now. But what's your impression of what's been happening?
Melissa has brought out the best and the worst sides of us as Jamaicans, and where it's not just the roofs that went and the social fabric of the society. There's more revelation as to how we live, how we treat each other. All of that is exposed. Melissa exposed all of that. And the fact that our political system is not the best that we can have, because the members of parliament, they serve their party and not the people. And that is highlighted in the cries all over Jamaica that some people are getting more than they should, while others are starving. So that I see revealed. But there's another side. People talk about those out west, as you said earlier, but so many other people are suffering, but because they're not out west, they don't get highlighted. People don't realize the problems. And people in other sections of the island are hurting as well, just because they're related to the people out west that are suffering. So it is not just out west, it is all Jamaicans who are suffering. And
How do you think the whole thing has been managed, Winnie? I mean, this is an opportunity as well. Disaster presents opportunities. But how do you think the whole thing has been managed?
Well, as far as I am concerned, it is really not the whole thing. You have so many different groups managing. For example, there is a group out of Trinidad that I heard about for the very first time, but I'm sure they have been around for a while, called Is There Not a Cause? And they came to Jamaica and they did their own assessment of what is needed and decided where they would go to assist. And one of the places that they decided to go is a place where I know someone who could not reach there because there was completely cut off. But a lot is happening. Different groups are managing what they're doing well. Those who are cooking and serving food, they are doing well. I suspect that is the internal systems that are not doing well. But all the other systems are working and working well. People are happy about the help that they're getting. Some people are, depending on which group you have. The churches are managing their congregations and the districts where those congregations are. Those people are getting help from the church. So you have so many different groups doing the best that they can, doing very, very well. Where we hear the bickering and the talking is in the political system, the political divide, the political directorate. That is where you hear the most bickering. But you have many foreign groups out here doing very well, and the churches are doing a wonderful job. And as I mentioned churches, I must mention Bethel Temple Apostolic Church, Maypen. When I decided that, okay, I am going, the course that I do, that cost $300 US, but I decided to waive the cost if I could find a place where I can do the training and they won't charge me for the space. They did not charge me for the space. So I was able to train more people who can help people with their emotional well-being. So many things are happening, although they're not publicized. You have the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I believe the good outweighs the bad.
Thank you. I want to welcome again Mr. Reed. Welcome, sir. Mr. Reed, I want to start. Thank you. And I know you have been on the road quite a bit. Start by telling us what type of businesses make up the Small Business Association of Jamaica.
Well, it's a number of businesses make it up. We have the tourism sector, we have manufacturing, agriculture, service provider, restaurant, dressmaker, shoemaker, and the list goes on and on and on.
And you have been on the road to see some of these business people. Tell us about that. Where you have been? I think you were in Westmoreland yesterday.
Yes, we have been to a number of parishes, though. We have been to St. Elizabeth, we have been to Westmoreland, Savalamar, and Montego Bay. Let me tell you something. The worst of all is Westmoreland. Mm-hmm. Westmoreland, I think, need a new city. That's how I can put it. We need a new city in Westmoreland. We need hospital, police station. We need market. We need business places. And down there, it's a catastrophe. Mm-hmm. And therefore, the SBAJ is appealing to the government, appealing to the private sector, and appealing to international organizations to expedite the process of helping to rebuild Westmoreland. Because what I see on the ground yesterday, I used to see these things on the movie or in pictures, but I see it in living colors.
And what were the people saying to you? What were people saying to you?
I saw people with placard. We want help. What I did yesterday, we take down truckload of top horning, we take down care packages, building supplies, clothing, and so on, so medical supplies and so on, and tools. Because people have been asking for tools, and food. We take down food as well, because we realize that Central Kitchen will be pulling out shortly. And so what happened is that we want some of the cook shop, the restaurant, to start working, working, so that when Central Kitchen pull out, they can start up their business. Yeah. In fact, I saw a gentleman who have a cook shop, and cooking. He said he's in business for what, 40 years? No, I think 5 years. And he was cooking all the different menu for the community, and he didn't have a top earning, and we stopped and we gave him one, and he really appreciated it. These are some of the things that is happening. These are micro and small business operator where that is concerned.
So those people, what is their main need? Those small
their main needs, Franklin, is that they need funding. They need funding to start their businesses. And I recommend to the government that we need to give these micro and small business operator $500,000 to start up, push start. Because let me tell you something, Franklin. Small businesses is the engine of growth for the Jamaican economy. And when you have small business startup, it will help big business, and it will help economy and help back commerce to get back and running. So Westmoreland, I think, is one of the worst parish that was it. I was trying to get out of Savalamar, Westmoreland before dark, and let me tell you something, the place was let me tell you something, word cannot come out of my mouth. I think I was in no man's land. Yeah. And again,
so those businesses that you spoke with, those business people you spoke with, they are saying they need specific help in terms of funds. And why would they get those funds from the usual sources that they would get them from?
Well, I mean, Franklin, let me tell you something. The bank, there's no bank down there, no ATM. That is number one. And number two, I don't think loans right now will help these people. These people need grants. People need grants, and I'm appealing to the Development Bank of Jamaica and the government of Jamaica to please grant these people grant. Go down there, do a site visit, speak to them, and give these small business operator grant so that they can push start commerce, push start the economy. Right? I say to one young lady, I gave her some tools, and I think she do carpentry. I never know women do carpentry, and I saw the place. I saw our tools wash away, and I said to her, I don't want to wish you a Merry Christmas because it's not going to be merry. But what I can wish you a Happy New Year and hope that 2026 will happy and bring prosperity. And so another place in Savalamar, I went to Savalamar, and people have been waiting on us from 10 o'clock. We reached there 1 o'clock. And when I see people, I say 150 people.
Waiting on what? What are waiting on you for?
Waiting on us for some waiting on us for funding, which we didn't have. We give them some tools, some people some tools. We give some people some taparning because the shop blow down, and we have to give them something to start. And we gave them food packages and some
Mr. Reed, what happened to the relief for these people before that? This is 6 weeks gone. What has happened to relief?
Yeah, but some, as your earlier caller said, some of the area people can't reach. People can't reach the hills and the valley and the shops. Franklin, when you go through, you will see dozens of shops blow down, right? And these are some of the things that is happening. I was in Montego Bay flying out a couple of weeks ago, and I saw about 14 shops closed. And I was wondering, I asked why these shops closed, and I was told that the owner for the shop roof blow down. So they are busy trying to get back their home together, open their shops in Montego Bay. So these are some of the things that is happening where commerce is concerned. And there is I think we need to coordinate properly. Coordinate and to ensure that commerce get back and running. We want commerce to get back and running. It's not there. It's not there.
How do we get that coordination? And I agree with you that there should be coordination, but who's to lead on that?
Well, of course, you know that the Prime Minister made some changes at the ODPM recently. I was hoping that it would be better, and it's not. It's not better right now. And so we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to bring back NGO, bring the Jamaica Manufacturers Association, bring the private sector organization, the Small Business Association, all these together around the table and planned. Are we going to give out financial support? Are we going to give out building supplies? And we have to ensure that we don't give one person 3 times, and we don't, and so on and so forth. But we need, it's going to be a coordinated effort, Franklin. And so it is. I'm not sure if it's coordinating properly. And I've been getting calls from overseas, from international organizations, and that is their concern. It is, we are not doing a coordinated thing. I cannot believe 6 weeks and the place looked like it just happened yesterday when you go down there. Have you been down there, Franklin?
Yes, I've been to St. James, I've been to St. Elizabeth.
Right.
I've been to Westmoreland, but I've seen and I've been told by colleagues what's happening down there. I'm concerned that this disaster is turning out in the way that it is, because I thought that it would offer
you see, we don't want a disaster turn out to be another disaster.
Exactly. And so we had an opportunity to change a lot of things, change a lot of processes, change a lot of structures. Even the shops that you are talking about. What types of shops are they? Are they going to be just chaka back on the roadsides?
No.
Are the markets going to be the same type of markets that we have had disgraceful places for years?
Part of Westmoreland, is a tourist area, and I would like we have decent shops for these people, right? I saw a lady
with a shop. Decent shops for all of us, for all of the people.
I saw a lady with a shop. You see, nice shop. It was on the side, and I said, "What do you do here?" She do ice cream. She do cook food, and the schools buy from her, tourists stop and buy from her. And she said when the storm come, they thief out everything, all our fridge, our stove, our
Yes, that happens. That happens.
so that
It's
lady have to
regrettable,
start
but that's
back
happened.
all over. So I'm not sure if 500,000 really can really solve that problem. So
But to come back to your
again,
500,000, to come back to your
we
500,000 before winning takes, and we are welcoming your comments and questions. So you just send them through, and we will get to them if we can. But before your 500,000, let me just ask you, who have you spoken to about that 500,000? Who have you lobbied?
Good question. Good question. And I'm going to tell you who I speak with. I've had a meeting with the Minister of Investment, Industry and Commerce, Senator Harbin Hill.
Yeah.
And in that meeting we had stakeholders like the PSOJ, Digicel, big companies, Grace Kennedy and Rhea Neville. And in that meeting, I mentioned that we need to give micro and small business operator $500,000 for a push start. The minister said, no, Garnet. I'm bringing it to Parliament and I'm going to ask some more. He told me that, Franklin,
you ask for more than 500,000.
That is correct. To date, nothing is happening. I talked to the Development Bank of Jamaica, Dr. Lowe. I said, Dr. Lowe, we need to make grant funding available for the SME sector, especially the small SME sector, because medium-sized business can help themselves, right? And he said, yes. Again, Franklin, I don't know what is happening, but nothing is happening. It do not look good. After 6 weeks, nothing is happening on the ground, and it's not look good for the international community. We have get $6.8 billion. It need to spend in those areas. It was given for a certain purpose, and I am
That's a loan. That's a loan. That's a loan. It's not a get that one. That's a loan.
Right?
We have got a whole heap of other funds.
Franklin, we get some grants.
Yes, of course, we have got some grants. And yes, of course, we have got some grants. And we have got all sorts of things.
We need and we get our generator. As I said, I drive through the place dark and oh God, and I said these generator come and not been given to people who need it most. It is crazy what is happening, and I am pleading to the private sector, pleading to government, pleading to the international organization to go down there and to deal with this matter as expeditiously as possible. People are suffering. People need help.
Mr. Reid, I'm glad that you have seen it directly. I'm glad that
Franklin, when I see business people is begging. Before I come onto this program, I get 6 calls. People is begging 2 tin of milk to start up, beg a 2-burner stove to start back. It's just crazy it's happening. So we need a coordinated effort to ensure that the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises get back on track for commerce. Central Kitchen will be pulling out next week. We need those other cook shop to start, restaurant, and so on, so that when Central Kitchen pull out, then we can pull in. We need to get back on it running.
A lot is being said about that Central Kitchens and who is being providing the meals and so forth. But I'm just concerned. I'm just concerned that the situation is as bad as you found it, because others have talked about it. Ordinary guys on the street who don't really necessarily have any businesses, but they are suffering. They are suffering, and as I said in the opener, the suffering is real. So what is your next step, now, Mr. Reid?
Well, my next step is to what I see on the ground. I'm going to make representation to the Prime Minister, to the Minister of Investment, Industry and Commerce, that's where his portfolio falls. I'm going to talk back to DBJ, and I'm going to talk back to Exim Bank. But when you talk back to the banks, because they call me, big banks call me and said, but Mr. Reid, I gave the government, NCB told me they give the government $450 million. Scotiabank, Scotiabank, I think
All
if
the
the
banks,
government.
almost all the banks have given money.
So where is the money, Franklin? This
It's
is
a
not
very good
Franklin.
question, sir.
These
It's
are
not
not
just the money.
loans.
It's
These are
not just the money
grants.
from the banks.
These are grants, and I am calling up on the government of Jamaica to expedite the process of distribution to help the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprise to come back on track. Let me tell you something.
Before you go on, let's really just pick up. I'm going to ask Willie just to pick up some comments, and then we'll come back to you, Mr. Reed. We're coming right back to you. Don't move.
Thanks, Joshua, for the comment that's there. Okay. Agree with Mr. Garnett Reed. A broad-based coordinated effort is required. And that is from Grace Mackley. Yes. Here's a question from Grace as well. My question is, how can Jamaican citizens be assured that the hurricane grants and loans will be spent in the hurricane-affected areas?
Good question.
You know, it's a very good question, but I'm also concerned about. I don't know if either of you know that I'm calling on you suddenly to speak to it, Vinny, nor Mr. Reed, but how much assistance, how much aid in cash and kind has been received in Jamaica? Is there a breakdown anywhere? I know that it was said to be promised at a press conference, something like that was promised. How much has been given to Jamaica to be given to people or to be loaned to people? How much? Do you have any idea at all?
Well, I was told that it's $6.8 billion.
No, there's a difference. You might be mixing up what the government is.
But also, I think that that's cash and kind as well.
No, you might be mixing up what has been offered to the government in terms of loans, in terms of loan assistance that is supposed to come. Loans. I'm talking about the assistance that has come from overseas Jamaicans, individual groups.
Franklin, there are
I'm talking about local people of groups like yours.
Billions of dollars have been given in loans. Remember, we have a drawdown of $24 billion for insurance. Don't forget that, you know.
Yes.
Okay, let's take this comment. Take this comment. It's a timely one. It says, Mr. Hill was given more than he's capable of handling.
That is, I think he's mentioning Senator Auburn Hill there. That's what
yes, he says, Mr. Yes. So that's
Mr. Reed,
timely
comment. I'm saying, and I'm reminding you that you have seen.
Franklin, if we don't address this matter as expeditiously as possible, the whole thing is going to blow up, and it's not going to look good. We're going to have serious problem in this country. We're going to have a social unrest. And let me tell you something, the international community is watching. Civil society is watching. And I am appealing to the stakeholders, the authority, who have the power and who have the funds available. Enough money is there to rebuild back Jamaica, to rebuild back these parishes. We need to go now and to ensure that it's done.
And I agree with you, and I agree with you strongly on it. You know, you went, and I keep repeating it, I keep reminding people of your bona fides in this, that you went and saw what was happening in St. James. I know when you went there, I know a lot of members of your team were a little bit shocked by what they saw.
There was.
And I know that you have gone on into Westmoreland as well. Did you say you went to St. Elizabeth?
I did we went to St. Elizabeth, part of St. Elizabeth.
Okay,
and we met some people with
and I'm telling you, those parts are the devastated parts. But
that is correct.
Even in St. Anne, which I know
okay, I have been getting calls for St. Anne. Business people, small business, I don't reach there yet. I've been getting calls from Hanover,
Manchester.
Mr. Reed, I am telling you, up in the south of St. Anne, small businesses have been devastated. The failure of the return of no electricity, no internet. People can't start their little cook shop. People can't start their little chicken rearing. People can't do their preparation of chicken for the market. That was left. People's crops have been devastated. I spoke to a farmer today on Wednesday. In his whole community, nobody has seen any of the RADA officers. We soon come to agriculture because we are joined by Patrick. It is a very, very bad situation. It hasn't got to many people yet, but people are already talking about it's getting to me.
Yes,
Really,
it's getting there. The social unrest, is triggering, and we have to be careful.
Okay,
Yes.
here is this person who says at the state level, the coordination of the government appears very inadequate.
It seems so to us. It seems so when you talk to the people out there. It seems so. I'm not hearing of praises for where they are at and what they are doing yet. I'm not hearing of that.
I'm sorry, and that's from Owen Richards.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed, go ahead. Is he hearing
frozen. Me? It seems as if he's frozen. So.
Mr. Reed?
Yes, welcome back.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, I am saying to you though that I am concerned about the Ministry of Agriculture, RADA.
Hold on, we're going to go there, Mr. Reed. Mr. Reed, we're going to go there. But before we go there, let's bring in Desmond, who has been having some difficulties getting through. Desmond, go ahead. I wonder what if you can tell us about your sense of what is happening with the relief efforts.
You've got mail.
Desmond?
What Gmail?
Desmond?
Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead, Desmond. Go ahead.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead, Desmond.
Yes. Okay, are you hearing me now, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Well, yes. So we are faced with the most devastating hurricane. Well, at least I can say that is the most devastating hurricane that I have seen, I have experienced. Now, Franklin, one of the things that has to be done, we're talking about building, but let me point out that in all the affected parishes, you have hundreds and thousands in some cases of persons who are landless. They were living on lands that were not theirs. And this is one of the reasons why why we have seen so many board houses. So this reconstruction that we are talking about has to start with a serious land reform program to make land accessible to the victims. That is one of the things that has to be done. Right now, as we speak, there are persons aid at all, right? Because one of the things you have to remember, that the rural areas are not like the corporate area, right? Some areas communities are wide and far apart, and the entrance to some of these areas, as you know, were never in good condition. So the hurricane came and smashed the roads, and people are not accessible. So as we speak, Franklin, there are thousands of Jamaicans who are suffering right now. They are going to have a white Christmas. And as I said before, that it has to start, the recovery program for these people has to start with a land reform program. And I don't hear them talking about this. So that is what I have to say initially.
What's your impression of the coordination of the relief so far?
Poor, very poor.
Desmond?
pitchy patchy, pitchy patchy, pitchy patchy, pitchy patchy, pitchy patchy. Because one of the things that is that the government response has been sporadic, right? I can tell you something though, the government is a bit confused, because one of the things that you must bear in mind that they have no experience. They have never experienced this type of disaster where entire towns have been wiped.
Yeah, but on a point of order, Hurricane Gilbert on the Edisiaga was Seattle did do a good job where Hurricane Gilbert is concerned.
Yeah, Desmond, the fact that we have a disaster which has never been seen before. There are people who are available. There's organization that can be put to the test to do the job. What it seems is that there are so many people, so many indicators that things are not running well. All right, we have lost Desmond. Mr. Hello, Mr. Reed,
Let's take this comment about Autumn Betty, the community in Manchester. This is Autumn Betty is a community in Manchester that suffered severe damage from the hurricane. The community seems forgotten. I was making the point that there are sections of Manchester that nobody's talking about, and these sections have been devastated as well.
Yes. And that's the point I was making, that for many people, it's the western parishes. Yes. And it's not true that is all that it is. And so that has also caused a divide between, because there are people, when I told Desmond last week again that I'm still a few miles from Runaway Bay, there's still no electricity, still no internet, and not even to speak of Brownstown, big community, most of it still don't have any electricity up to yesterday. Many parts of it and further. And that's not Westmoreland or St. Elizabeth, that's St. Anne. Yeah. That's not West.
And Malgolly in Manchester is not West.
The last comments here, Mr. Reed, before we move on. We want to talk. We want you to
we need to get back commerce, micro and small business up and running. Failure to do so, it would not help the economy.
And you have been making that point, I must underline that point, because small businesses are known to be the sectors, parts of the society, in any society.
Small businesses buy flour from big businesses.
That generate wealth at that grassroots level, that generate jobs, quick turnover of jobs, etc. And that's well known.
And purchase from big business.
Yes.
It purchase from big business. So we need these small business operators to get back on running so that they can pay the insurance, their car loans, their mortgages, and so on and so forth. And if we don't, that's correct. And if we don't get these businesses up and running, I noticed people mention about Westmoreland and St. Elizabeth. We have to talk about Manchester, St. Anne, Trelawney, and over. There are small businesses who get affected too in those areas. And we, for the next few weeks, we will be going in those and get the data. We are getting the data. We're working close now with the Companies Office of Jamaica to find out some of these small business places who registered. Because frankly, what I realized, a lot of these small businesses didn't register. And we are urging them to go and register their businesses.
That's a very important part of being able for help to
that is correct. And that's where the problem lies too. And as I'm going to say in closing, that
now you had mentioned something about RADA, and that stopped you, Mr. Reed. You had mentioned
I sit, you see, on a committee called Agro Invest. They have $100 million to give out to small farmers. And they are telling me that they are only going to give that money for the selected few. There are farmers in all these parishes that were wiped out from Hurricane Hurricane Melissa. I have some small farmers who do chicken. The whole our chicken dead. The goat, the pig, the everything washed and dead. And
The fruit trees.
That is correct. And we need these organizations, Agro Invest, RADA, 4-H, the Ministry of Agriculture. They need to start do a coordinated effort where agriculture is concerned. I went into the market last week and there was nothing there. So we have to go now and depend on import, produce, and vegetables. I did call upon the ministry and the government for them to drop the duty on these items to help the Jamaican consumer. And if we don't get commerce up and running, the PIOJ say that we're going to have a recession in 2026. We're heading for big trouble. We need to fix the problem from the root. We're heading for big trouble, and I warn them.
Mr. Reid, before you leave, I want Patrick.
Desmond mentioned
I want
about
to bring in Patrick to respond to those comments you made about agriculture, because Patrick has his finger on the pulse, so to speak. Patrick, would you like to respond to those comments?
I want to wish of them.
The ones about the agriculture sector and RADA and that committee that has 100 million for select farmers.
Okay, what I really understand is that the ministry is streamlining the effort to support farmers. I'm not on the ground all the time, but my understanding is that things are being streamlined up to since.
What do you mean by streamlined, Patrick? Patrick, what do you mean by streamlined?
Things are being distributed. Farmers are getting stuff. The farmers that really matters are getting stuff, and it's not perfect, but they are getting the material that is required. And the ministry and RADA and the different commodity organizations, they are on the ground delivering.
Those are telling that people up at Cave Valley and Alexandria and what's the other community? I can't remember the name. Who I spoke with said that they haven't seen any agricultural officers at all, any RADA people, any of those people at all.
That's what I was told.
Parish.
You know, all right. So I can't speak exclusively or in real total the affirmative for the ministry, no rather. But what I know most time, farmers always say that they don't see this and they don't see that. They don't see this officer. When
you mean the lying? You mean the farmers lying?
So I think so. Yes, sometimes they are lying.
Really?
Sometimes.
No.
Sometimes.
Patrick, sometimes some is lying, but it's not every one of them lying. Yesterday we went and give out agriculture tools, and we was the first to go there to give some tools in Savalamar. In Savalamar.
You are
there are lots of farmers down there that was wiped out. We know, speaking to embassies and High Commission to help them if they can donate seed for these farmers. The call coming to us. We get the call from small farmers, and we have to address them the best we can. So we need a coordinated effort where agriculture is concerned. They are the food basket. We need to move fast and deal with it. You know, 6 weeks ago we had this hurricane. If they had planted some pepper or sweet pepper, we could be reaping now.
All right,
Patrick, I was going to make that point. It's 6 weeks gone, you know, Patrick.
Yes. But
so Pakchoy, Kalalo and those would be coming back now.
I saw up to about 3-4 weeks ago, the RADA and the ministry outline. I don't remember the value, the amount of seeds, and that they have been giving out. So I don't know. Something must be wrong. But I've read the report and I've seen where the items are slated for distribution up to 3-4 weeks ago. So I'm surprised to hear all of that now.
Well,
Are you aware, Patrick, of what is happening now with regard to the small farmers within the JS and so forth? Are you aware of what is happening to them and what is happening? Particularly, I wanted to ask about food imports. All
right. So the minister spoke some time ago that they have definitely plans to increase the importation of the items that are in short supply or that they expect to be in short supply. So this would be some of the fruits and vegetables.
Must be duty free.
Well, you see, all right. You see, the problem is no, Garnet. You're trying to attack 2 points, right? The price at which it reaches consumers, right? That's why you say it must be duty free. But you also remember you have a domestic market that you still need to protect. And nobody's talking about removing the tax totally from food items that are being produced locally. I want you to address that. The government still have a tax on egg.
Patrick, when Hurricane Melissa start, I call the custom, the commissioner of custom, and I say to her, we need to remove duty and the costs of bringing barrel. And she said, yes, Mr. Reed, you're right. And I asked her for an extension, and she said yes. And I'm going to ask her for another extension for the barrel to continue duty free for for January, because people need food.
So what about the input cost that farmers still have to pay taxes on? Why don't you talk about that too? You're only talking about the importation of the food. Don't tax it. But what about the taxing the items that produce the food? That's still being done.
And Patrick, this is what we need. This is where we need all hands on deck. What we can remove, we remove. What we can put on, we put on. Because this is a catastrophe like no other. So we need all hands on deck to do what we can do. Patrick.
Let's bring in this statement now. Yes, from Grace McLean. She says coordinated effort is needed for the agricultural sector, which would reduce the concerns by farmers. Transparency and accountability are important.
Very important.
So who is Grace McLean? Who is that?
I think Grace McLean is a financial person.
Oh, you're reading.
This is a comment.
She's reading
a comment.
She's reading
a comment that came.
All right,
yeah.
I got you. So
okay, Patrick, can you tell us? Can you give us a sense of where the overall effort is now? Have they determined what the losses have been from the farming sector, especially I don't want to say small farming sector, but the farming sector, and what is the immediate response? Because now we're 6 weeks gone. So can you give us a sense of that you have followed or covered?
So the World Bank, in its what they call a rapid assessment, said the damage is 62.5 billion Jamaican dollars. That's about
2.5 billion Jamaican dollars lost.
No man, 62.5.
62.5
billion. That's what World Bank is saying. That's about 20% of the
GDP.
Agriculture GDP. The government, however, first put it at roughly 30 billion.
Yeah.
And then after this, the minister is saying that yes, it could be around 50 billion. So they are not totally dismissing the World Bank account, because apparently the World Bank used some matrix or some other things to evaluate it that they did not use. They look at the infrastructure and some other things. I don't know how it reached so far, right?
Don't look too much at their analysis, but that is losses that have been suffered by the farmers.
Well, yes. So it is both material loss as well as the infrastructure.
Right? How is that going to be made up now? In other words, how do people who have suffered those losses, and those losses also prevent you from creating new wealth, in other words, new crops, how is that going to be taken care of? How are those people going to be assisted?
Well, they are still assessing the individual or ascertaining the damage that has been done by that individual farmers has experienced. Because you would understand that during this time is a lot of lies, it's a lot of over exaggeration, and it's so
lot of lies and exaggeration.
Yes, it is definitely.
Yes.
Because one of the things that is affecting agriculture right now.
Well, you come there, Sir Patrick. I don't understand how you get
meaning
there.
That the farmers
you mean a farmer who says He lost
them last
200 chicken.
And sometimes it's not true.
Never had one chicken,
right?
Franklin.
Never had
one chicken. Never had a cook.
That's right. Right. But notwithstanding that, what happened too is that
I find that hard to believe.
Oh yes. It
but go ahead. You go ahead. You go
all
ahead.
the time. So what is also the big problem now is that the last census on agriculture that was done was 2006. That's what nearly.
So we don't really have any data. We don't really have
any reference data, base data to say yes, Franklin has 50 acres of bananas. They don't really have it. So a lot of guesswork is being taking place. But what I understand though, the government has a Ministry of Agriculture has a committee, a task force that is working on that. It involves people in the private sector as well. And they are assessing the situation and then determining how the distribution. So far, they have started the distribution of seeds and fertilizer and planting materials as well as some pesticide. I don't know the level of it, but I know that has been done. I got the report that is being done. However, there would still be farmers who would say...
So, Patrick, there are going to be food for Christmas and vegetables?
Yes, in some areas. Remember, most of those foods, some of them, understand, yes, some will be available for Christmas. Christmas is 2 weeks away.
All imported. Now, Patrick, you expect the prices to moderate because the prices that are seen in the markets now, Mr. Reed said he went to market and didn't say anything much. I also did the same thing last week. You don't say anything much, but the prices, you expect the prices to moderate?
No.
Because the prices, Jamaicans have never seen these prices that are in the market.
Never.
And some hotels that is opening are saying that they have not getting no Jamaican produce.
Right. But you see, remember, you cannot expect the bounce back to happen so quick because the bulk of the damage was done in the parish that produces the most. St. Elizabeth, Manchester.
Yeah, but Patrick, if we had start quickly, we would have had vegetable by now.
I think they hit the ground. I think they hit the ground in most cases, especially in St. Elizabeth. But it's just that you have to remember that people's personal lives were out. People didn't have light, no water.
Yeah, I understand that as well.
And the houses were damaged too.
We need to move faster. We need to move.
But you're giving the impression as if the actual planting is being done by a government agency. That's not the case. It's all
the actual what? The actual what?
Planting of food or whatever is being done by a government agency. It's not
done by the farmers, but the government have to put all the necessary tools in place to ensure that happen. And I'm saying we're getting report from farmers that is not done.
Okay,
Patrick, we are dealing with people's lives, and we have to be real. We have to be real, Patrick. Because no matter what is our political preferences, we have to be real and look on people's lives. When I went down yesterday, I tell them I'm not here. I'm not coming in red or green or orange. I'm coming to Jamaica, to the people of Jamaica, to ensure that we get back commerce up and running. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, got it. And I want to be the
same. Patrick, you know me. You know me, Patrick. You know me.
Yes. And I'm saying to you, I'm not here as a spokesman for the ministry or anybody. All I'm saying.
No, we're asking you from your knowledge point of view, something that you follow. Tell us what is happening. That's what.
And what I think is happening is that they are distributing planting materials. They are distributing fertilizer, pesticide, and all of that, right? But what I think the challenge and the fact that things don't start fully in terms of the farmers getting on board. Remember, they have personal problem. Houses gone, no light, no water. So they're not gonna start the farming until their personal situation has improved. And if you notice, the areas that get back their light, electricity, and all of that, they are moving up. They are doing stuff. Right? I'm not saying that what is being done is perfect. No way it's perfect. But I think
actually from your standpoint, and you are in touch with a lot of people in the diaspora. How do they feel about what's happening in Jamaica? What they see? Lots of them have sent their money, sent generators, sent tarpaulins, sent all sorts of stuff. How do they feel? At least in the Northeast where you are often.
Good question.
How do you feel about what's happening in Jamaica?
All right. So first of all, everybody are sympathetic, and everybody is moving on to help to get things done. People feel that in some cases the resources they are sending is not being properly channeled. Right? That's one concern.
That's very serious, you know. It's very serious.
Other people do feel that people are grateful and they are really trying their best to improve the situation. Right? So it's a mixed bag. Some people are also very pessimistic about, the pace at which things are going. Just like what you and Garnet is saying. They're not pleased with the pace at which it's going overall. Right?
Yeah.
Other people believe that over time it should improve as long as the criminal elements that is in the system, the corrupt people who are in the system, because you have to understand right now I see so many people having hurricane relief effort, right? And
it means putting on something to raise funds.
Something, GoFundMe, all type of people having stuff. And sometimes we know some of these people that, these people are just people who look at money, right? And some people will tell you straight up. I hear people call me and say, how can they make some money right now in agriculture with what's going on? Right?
Make money off the suffering of people. Yeah.
Yes. What can be imported, whatever. But they're not totally wrong still, because I see where the government allocated 450 million as incentive for farmers. Now, that's a lot of money. Those money are being spent in the input supply side. So the fertilizer people, the chemical people, all of those people are going to be making some money out of that. So the point is, one, who will get the relief supply? Is it the farmers that really need it, or if it going to friends, family, or political cronies, right?
Sir.
Okay. Well, yes, that's our show for today. Thanks to all my listeners and viewers. Thanks to my technical operator, Kevin. Yes, and as usual, we are appealing to road users to be careful. Over the weekend was bloody. All right? And from this platform, we are appealing to all users of the road to take it easy. Take it easy. And remember to protect yourself. Keep safe. And we are on the side of our brothers and sisters in Western Jamaica who are having a difficult time at this time. So until Wednesday, this is Rebel Radio, and I'm Desmond Richards.
It's the Everybody Sale at New Budget Supplies. Do-it-yourself professionals and contractors. This is the sale for you. Lumber, steel, dress and form ply, water tanks, pumps, PVC pipes and fittings, toilets, bathtubs, vanities and basins, windows, paint, doors, floor and wall tiles, thin sets and grout. Up to 20% off selected items. 195 Hagleyburg Road. Telephone 923-4560. New Budget Supplies. Always the best prices.
Tools, hardware, and supplies is turning up the heat this summer with your super saving summer sale. Prices are slashed on everything you need to fix up your home. Beautiful tiles, sleek doors, top quality windows, modern sanitary ware, exclusive flooring, and more. At Tools, hardware, and supplies, we have you covered for the summer.
So come visit us at 279 Spanish Town Road, 4 South Camp Road, 8 Red Hills Road,
or online at toolsja.com.
Tools!
The Lion King of Hardware.
passion and vibes, and through it all there's a glow inside. Let's keep our shine alive.
From the market to the factory floors, from the hillside green to golden shores.
We're reaching heights, our energy that lights the sky.
JPS, power in what matters.
He's always there for me. So no matter what the circumstances may be, no, God is always there for me.